diamond jewelry. Shop in-store or online at baileybox.com. Give her a gift that's better than chocolate or roses with the easiest and can't-miss way to make her Valentine's Day extra special with a little black and white striped box from Bailey's Fine Jewelry. Located in Raleigh's Village District and Crabtree Valley Mall, also in Cary's Fenton, Rocky Mount, and Greenville. Just a little reminder from me, Marcy Bailey. Every woman wants a Bailey box.
The next disaster is coming. Make a plan. Keep extra medication on hand. Make copies of important documents. Stay informed and be ready. Learn more at americares.org/sendusin.
Hey, Mom, I've been meaning to talk to you about some new COVID information I saw online.
Uh-huh.
I read that black folks like us with certain conditions like diabetes, heart disease, mental health conditions, or being 50 and older, like you, are at high risk.
Boy, you sound like a commercial.
I'm just saying. I know you love your ginger teas and essential oils, but remember, there are treatment options for COVID-19.
I promise if I get sick again, I'll call my doctor to ask about my options.
Visit WeTalkWeRise.com to learn more. Brought to you by Pfizer.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, injury lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it. Go to RitchieLaw.com.
That's RitchieLaw.com.
WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. Take us with you on the radio, Instagram, TikTok, Alexa, and YouTube. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. Kind of tough to get used to this big swing in our temperatures from warm and sunny yesterday to chilly and damp today. Temperatures will continue to fall on down to around 40 degrees by the evening commute. A little bit of patchy light rain as well. 38 overnight tonight, but tomorrow we'll see the sunshine returning after some clouds in the morning. Our highs will climb into the upper 60s again.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb and Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 3 o'clock, check if your money. Dow Jones is up 233 points today to 44,789.
Now Jarvis behind the back. The score! Jackson Blake takes the pass from Jarvis and wires it past Comrie.
After the coach's challenge, it was determined that there was goaltender interference. No.
Follow working it through across the score. Nino Niederreiter haunting his old team. His shot blocked by Orlov, but it goes right to Pionk. He takes it up and scores. Neil Pionk beats Pyotr Kochetkov.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Dennis, you had to do it to me in the intro again. Oh, Jackson Blake scored.
You know.
Never mind, take it away. I went through that last night. You did it again.
We all did. I'm just telling the story, man.
You know, you watch a movie, you already know the twist, but it still kind of gets you. Mm-hmm. That just happened to me. He was dead all along. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan.
Hey, spoiler alerts here.
I didn't say what movie.
Oh, I know. You're talking The Sixth Sense.
Now, spoiler alert. That's Dennis Cox. I'm Tim Donnelly. Last night, not a super fun game for watching the Canes. I have frustration questions to ask. I'll start with, what is goalie interference?
Great question.
It's like you take a freshman year psychology class, and the first thing they do is like, we're in a 30-person lecture. I want to hear from all of you. What is life? Let's start with, what is goalie interference? Someone raises their hands. You? It's the most frustrating thing in hockey. Ding, that's correct. What's your interpretation? I don't know what goalie interference. I can read the rules, and do you know what I love about goalie interference? Mm-hmm. Is as soon as it happens, and I think the Canes are up to like 14 times it's gone against them, and 2 it's gone for them since the 2023 season, something along those lines.
Oh yeah.
Every single time it pops up, I absolutely love that nobody really tries to explain it, but you get the screenshots of the league rule that just gets sent out. So it's like, I don't know, you interpret it. How would you do this? Right? In contact, incidental, or other. Here's the issue I had with last night. And this is why I would never want to be a ref. I'm not even putting it on individual refs. It has to be spirit of the rule over letter of the law, right? It's if there's a run play and I hold the receiver and we're 35 yards away from the play, I get it's a penalty, but it didn't affect the play. Let the merit figure it out. The reason Jackson Blake scored was not because Mikko Rantanen, while being bumped into, grazed the goaltender's butt of their stick. That's not that. It was deflected against a defenseman. It's goal. It's a goal. It's a goal. And I have these arguments, by the way, not just hockey. I have these arguments about football, baseball, basketball. The catches that are so obviously catches, but then you watch the super-duper instant slow motion replay, and you see that the ball moved a millimeter, and they're like, dislodged, didn't have control through the catch. I'm like, no, that's a catch. That goal from Jackson Blake, you read the rule, the letter of the law, if you went down to the maybe not, it's a goal. And it's a Seth Jarvis assist in his hometown, and it's great vibes for a team that's trying to pull off an upset on the road and wind in their sails moving forward. And when you take that goal away, you take away the wind. And suddenly they're sitting in a sailboat out in the middle of the ocean with no wind. You have to accept it, right? Yeah, and you have to give Winnipeg credit. They're a good team, and they're playing well. And they took advantage of an opportunity there, and the Canes couldn't rally the comeback attempt or regather themselves after that. But to me, I mean, I know it happened early. There was a dividing line there. Pre-goal being taken away, post-goal being taken away was not the same game. And then at the end, when they got the goal put on, it was just like, all right, let's pack it up.
Like, really?
I mean, at that point, it's I watched parts of an SNL documentary after the game last night. I was so wired. I think it was Keenan Thompson was talking about how one of his favorite moments in SNL, and it's like the cynic in him, is when a host doesn't realize that the sketch just isn't working and they're at dress. He's like, everyone that's on SNL, we're getting out of our costumes, we're taking off the wig, like we're still saying the lines, but we recognize this is never going to make it to television. But the host doesn't know, so he's still right there all in it. Kind of felt at times like that after Winnipeg had the goal being put back on or put on the scoreboard, so it was 3-0. Every once in a while you see someone like going really hard, and it just felt like everyone else was looking at him like, dude, we're in Minnesota on Thursday. Let's start prepping. I'm not saying it's the right way. I'm just saying that's how it felt. Other observations. You have to accept it because it is who he is. But Pyotr Kochetkov scares the heck out of me. He did the whole the full life of Pyotr Kochetkov in 5 seconds thing again. Airmails a puck, kind of sets up sets up Winnipeg to come right back at his face, and then makes a ridiculous blocker save, and it's like, all right, I guess no harm, no foul, but let's not be that reckless with it. Every time he does something crazy like that, it's like flashes. It's just like, oh gosh, I defend this guy, and I'm gonna have to go in tomorrow and say, never mind, I know the recklessness got the better of him, but then he made the save, so. Again, I guess no harm, no foul on that play. And then there's this other conversation. And this is the one that's brought to me on social media the most. This is the one I see the most complaining about. This other situation is this. Mikko Rantanen. You trade for the Moose. You trade for a guy that's supposed to put you over the top. And through the first handful of games, you haven't seen him walk on water. Just frozen ice. You haven't seen him do anything outlandish. And I'm starting to feel the impatience. Well, when is it going to come? When is it going to happen? When is he going to do the thing? When's the 100-point scorer thing happen? It's like you have a friend who's a stand-up comedian. Be funny. Do something. I'm not there yet. I think patience is necessary. Here's Rod Brindamore on what he saw from that whole line. It's Jackson Blake, the rookie, Sebastian Aho, and Mikko Rantanen.
Yeah, I mean, of all the games they've played, I didn't love this one at all as much as the other ones, but Rance, again, he's been kind of snake bit. He had it on the power play, hits the post, makes a nice play, and that's hockey. It's a game of inches, and they didn't go our way tonight.
It's a bit of bad puck luck, right? It did ring the post last night, right? And
beat the goalie clean, just hits the post. Had a couple of those.
It's good looks, pretty good execution, not scoring. That's always tough to handle. It's adjusting. It's the sicknesses that were being dealt with. It was still a weird rotation night, 11 forwards, 7 defensemen. Mm-hmm. Those are reasons. Those are not excuses.
Guys are still sick.
Very much reasons, not excuses.
Sick.
Dennis, here's the question that I've struggled with.
Okay.
This has been rattling around in my brain. I'm going to say we're going to speak as a show here. We're going to try to get on the same page. Do we have an issue with 18 minutes and 55 seconds of ice time for Rantanen in a game with 11 and 7, so 11 forwards, so you do double shift occasionally? It's a game where you trailed most of the game, and Rantanen is supposed to be there as a point and goal producer. And there were other guys on the team, other forwards, playing more minutes, which, you bring in a guy like Rantanen, you think you want to maximize his impact. Do we have an issue with 18:55 for Rantanen?
No.
Why not?
I don't, because it could be a couple things. One, he doesn't play on the penalty kill.
True.
So you're not going to – so that's why you got to have guys like Aho and Seth Jarvis who kill penalties are out there more. And Canes took, 4 penalties yesterday? So there's 8 minutes of ice time potentially right there that Mikko Rantanen's not going to be on the ice. So, no, I don't have a problem with 18:55 for him. I don't think so at all. I think it's also – we also have to look at the number of shifts. Guy had 21 shifts, which is third most on the team behind Jarvis and Aho.
Tied with Svetch.
And he played almost 2 minutes more than Svetch did. So, no, I have no problem with 18:55 of him last night, because he, also might be under the weather himself. We just don't know it.
Yeah, we don't know that.
And second of all, he's still adjusting to how this team plays. And it's a massive thing.
Here, I'm going to give you my full, I was going to say angel and devil, but I don't want to give New Jersey that love. Mm-hmm. I'm going to give my good cane and my bad cane that sit on my shoulders. The part of me that's saying play him more is like that. That's what he did in Colorado. He played a lot more. Now, I'm not saying you got to go out there and play him 24 minutes or something ridiculous like the Avs do, but part of me is like, we'll ease him into it a bit. You know what I mean? If his role in another team was playing a ton, he's been doing it for a decade, right? Like if that's his usual, let's get him as close to his usual as you possibly can. And then you can get him into your vibe. And so, I don't know, 21 minutes doesn't seem that crazy in a game when you're already playing with 11.
It doesn't seem that crazy, but here's the thing about the Canes system. It's much more physically taxing than what Colorado does.
True.
That's the thing as well. It's like that is a much more difficult skating style than what a lot of other teams do in the NHL. It's just you physically can't go 25 minutes every night as a forward in this system.
I agree. And I'm not ever advocating for that. I'm just looking around going, I do think he needs to impact the game more, and part of it is him, part of it is it's new, part of it is all those reasons I gave. Part of it is like, I don't know, maybe if he had 2 more minutes to impact the game, maybe he'd get a shot there. So I'm just asking questions, but we as a show do not have a problem with it. We've united.
What month is it? What month is it? February?
Oh, February.
Talk to me in March.
I thought that was a trick question.
No, talk to me in March.
If
it's still a problem in March, then we'll have a problem. Because there's a 2-week break here in the middle of this month. If it's still a problem in March, then we'll have that conversation.
I almost answered Sagittarius. I thought you were trying to get me. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The
Aquarius season.
Oh, February, hunting season. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Before we move on, Tim Donnelly here for DraftKings Sportsbook. This ain't the itty-bitty, eensy-weensy, teeny-tiny bowl. That's not what we have coming up this weekend. This is the Super Bowl, Super Bowl 59. Get in on the action at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Scoring touchdowns is key to hoisting the Lombardi Trophy, and you, that's right, you, listening right now, you can score big by betting on touchdowns at DraftKings Sportsbook, the #1 place to bet touchdowns. If you're ready to place your first bet, it could be something that simple. right? You're going to watch the big game. You're going to get together with a bunch of friends. You want to watch the commercials. You want to talk. It's easy to go, someone scored. Who was it? That's how you check your bet. Kareem Hunt on the ground for Kansas City, plus 140 anytime touchdown score. If you think they're going to open and score first with Kareem Hunt, meaning Kansas City, plus 900, you can make some money there. The new DraftKings customers can get some instant bonus bets as well, in addition to whatever you go ahead and win at the DraftKings Sportsbook. Download. I'm going to tell new customers how to get the instant $200 in bonus bets. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code TIMD. That's code TIMD. For new customers, use that at sign up, and you'll get $200 in bonus bets instantly when you bet just $5. Only on DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 877-185-543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. 21 plus, North Carolina only. Eligibility restrictions apply. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio. We'll be back when we come up next. Duke versus Syracuse tonight. Duke, I mean, it is a glass of water in an oasis that is ACC basketball. Duke has to take care of business against Syracuse. We'll tell you how next.
Listen for that. Did he just do that?
Johnson trying to step back for a three. Bring it up. Left side. Boy, that was cold-blooded.
The deep looks from downtown.
Damas from the right block. Gives to Hawkins. Straight on. Triple. Good. They left him open, and he makes him pay.
The get that out of here's.
Bonner to the basket. Rejected by Renew, who saw that one coming.
Your exclusive home for the Final Four. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports leader.
Hey, bud, why the long face? Got laid off again, like the third time since the plague. You should move back in with your parents. What? Well, let's go to Sharky's. Now that's a good idea. Hey, they hiring? No chance they'd hire you, but Sharky's is my favorite spot, and I just love hanging there. Sharky's it is. We can discuss a new job over a cold beer and the best wings ever.
He's right, you know. No one's gonna hire you. Move back in with your parents. Sharky's. Quite possibly the best neighborhood bar in the world.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
It's time for the Coastal Scholar Athlete of the Month.
Hello, Creighton Blackwell here from Coastal Credit Union and 99.9 The Fan. Tonight we are at Green Level High School, and we're here to celebrate the newest Scholar Athlete of the Month, Lexi Taylor.
My family is definitely like my biggest support through everything. My sister and my parents both support me through my hardest days and my best days, and they're always there to support me.
Lexi's a phenomenal athlete, comfortable with whatever you ask her to do. She's strong, she's poised, she doesn't get flustered easily.
And she's just like grown up so much as like a captain and a teammate, and she's been a captain now for 2 years, and I really just think she's been like such a great help to our team.
Well, I've been cheering with her since 7th grade, and we're seniors now, so I've kind of like watched Lexi like grow up, I feel like, and she's like done the same with me. So I've like seen her like step into a leadership role, and I feel like she's just always super encouraging and keeps a positive attitude.
It means a lot to me to just be able to be recognized in such like a wide area with so many amazing athletes. So I just feel great to like feel like someone's like seeing all the hard work that I've been putting into my sport and my academics. So I'm very grateful for it.
Congratulations, Lexi.
For over 20 years, 99.9 The Fan and Coastal Credit Union have been recognizing scholar athletes at Triangle area schools. If you'd like to nominate a high school athlete, text AWARD to 919-860-5326. That's AWARD to 919-860-5326.
Tim Donnelly here for Zero Res. Now, February is the month of love, And we're all guilty of it, right? We wait till something like February happens to love those that maybe we've been neglecting or let them know how much we care. Have you been doing that to your rugs, your floors, piling up with dirt and grime and dander? Well, Zero Res wants to love your rug. Love your rug special right now. 3 rooms of carpet cleaned starting at $109 and $100 off air duct cleaning. Visit ZeroResRaleigh.com or call 919-995-0000.
3 on 2, it's Cooper to the rack, put it up, counted in a foul! It's an avalanche, and it's 17-6.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Royals? Is that a little Royal Blue? No? Duke Blue? Do they count that? Have I told you my story of seeing I saw what is this, Lord, live?
I did not know that.
I don't go to the most concerts in the world. I'll just be a quick story, and then we'll get to Duke at Syracuse tonight. I was at the Preakness, the horse race, and on the infield, they had 2 big stages on either end. One side, this song, that song you just heard, Royals, just came out. It was everywhere, couldn't escape it, Lord. The other side, Nas. Legendary rapper, Illmatic, The World Is Yours, Life's a Bleep, like Nas. And for some reason, they overlapped. They didn't play like Lord plays for a couple hours, then Nas goes the other side. And there was another even side stage with a country band. I forget who it was. When I tell you there were probably 20, 30,000 people in the infield, and 19,900, if there were 20,000, were watching Lord. And I felt like I had a personal Nas show. So I kind of saw Lord. I had her to my back all the way on the other side. Meanwhile, Nas was like making eye contact with me and performing.
I totally would have gone to see Nas.
120, like not only
Absolutely.
Not only would I see Nas like in a vacuum of I just got to choose, but Nas like from me to where you're sitting against 20,000 people watching Lord, who I could kind of name one song, and I still can't name like more than that one. It was a very, very easy decision for me and my buddy, and we just went over there and watched Nas. That's my Lord story, and I'm sticking to it. Now let's talk Duke at Syracuse. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. This is yet another win and blank game for Duke. I'm trusting someone on Twitter here, which is always dangerous, but it looked legit. At Brotherhood, get it, Duke Brotherhood CBB on Twitter. Put this together because I don't track spreads throughout. I gamble, but I don't track spreads constantly. According to this Twitter account, I can verify that Duke is an 18.5-point favorite against Syracuse tonight. According to this Twitter account, the largest spreads in any game between Power 5 schools this year. So 2 teams, power conferences playing against each other. Duke versus Virginia Tech. That's the biggest, minus 24.5. Duke versus Miami, minus 24. Duke versus BC. These are in order, biggest spreads of the year, Power 5 opponents against each other. Duke versus BC, Duke versus NC State, Houston versus Oklahoma State, Tennessee versus Syracuse, Duke versus Notre Dame, Duke versus Syracuse, which is tonight, Auburn versus Missouri, and UNC versus Georgia Tech. They are all 18.5 or more. 6 of the top 10 largest spreads in Power 5 versus Power 5 games up to this point are Duke. And all 4 of the top 4 are Duke. This is what I'm talking about when I say there are a lot of games that Duke could go into, play poorly, win the game, and move on, and the casual fan wouldn't notice. Right? If you're not watching the game, if you're not an ACC aficionado, if you're not a Duke fan or a hater of Duke, then you can watch them win by 14 tonight on the road in a conference game. And you'll just see the stats and go, all right, they won, and move on. And that's not a good game. And I'm not saying everything is decided by the spread, but I'm not saying this to be mean to Syracuse. I'm saying this like I looked for a while today to find something analytically that Syracuse does well. And I couldn't really come up with anything. There's of the stats that we count, right? Like even slight advanced analytics, the rebounding margin, rebounding percentage, offense and defensive rebounds, total rebounds, points, steals, turnover, like anything, they're not in the top half of the ACC in anything. There was one specific rebounding stat, which wasn't like rebounds, that came up to where they got to 6th. That's the highest they got. And I was like deep on the statistics page, just going stat by stat, sort, just hoping I would see this Syracuse somewhere near the top so I could go, boom, that's what Duke is testing today. Right? If Syracuse was randomly like a really good defensive team against the 3, I would be like, boom, there you go. Test yourself. See if you can get open threes against Syracuse. It's what they do well. I came away with very little. Syracuse finds a way to beat the just lesser talented teams in the ACC, but they don't do anything like they don't have something to hang their hat on as far as a skill. Part of that might be because Malik Brown's on Duke. Malik Brown was on Syracuse last year.
All ACC defensive player.
He's a good player, right? Maybe they. I just saw, according to Duke stats, this one I did clarify, Malik leads the Blue Devils with 94 deflections, had 8 versus UNC. He missed some time. He's still, in raw total deflections, leads Duke, and they've got a ton of guys with wingspan that like getting out into the passing lanes. Maybe if he were on Syracuse, I'd be sitting here saying, all right, you can't turn the ball over against them. They're good at getting their hands. They got sticky fingers. They're good at turning you over. But he's not there. He's on Duke. So I'm going full 180. Instead of finding the thing that Syracuse does well and saying test yourself, I'm saying identify the weakness and light it the heck up. They are worst. Syracuse is worst in the league, in the ACC, in turnover margin.
Not a great spot to be.
Get after it, Duke defense.
Oh, yeah.
Turn it into offense is what. Don't just come away, hey, we got 2 more turnovers and 2 more steals than they did. Come away with, we had 15 more points off turnovers than they did. If there is a vulnerability tonight, win and fill in the blank. What I'm filling in the blank with is win and show off your killer instinct. Win and take the things that they don't do well and squeeze every last drop of domination out of it.
You can actually put something tangible with that, like, hey, points per turnover.
Yes.
Like, let's get 1.3 points per turnover in this game. So if we get 10 turnovers, there's 13 points or whatever it is off those 10 turnovers. Something along those lines that actually makes it tangible, something to achieve.
If your name's not Common Malawash and you get a steal, push.
Yeah.
Common Malawash, hey, if you want to.
Hey, man,
a few times he's faced up at like the extended elbow and put the ball on the ground twice. I'm not saying, but if you want to take off, lead the break, go ahead. But everybody else, you get a steal, eyes up, go. They're going to give you opportunities to get your hands on the ball on defense. Go.
This is, I also think, the biggest competition. I say competition, but the biggest challenge for Duke in this game is themselves.
Yes.
In the sense of, don't have the emotional letdown after coming off a rivalry game.
That's a good point.
Don't have that. Don't come out soft. Don't come out weak. Don't come out just, hey, let's go ho-hum, no emotion to start the game. That's the thing you can't afford to have happen. That's something I'm sure John Shire drilling into his guys.
Especially the way the UNC game ended.
Mm-hmm.
You did not end pedal to the floor.
You did not.
You gave them a nice little run that cut it to 17, but still, UNC finished on a pretty good tear there. So there is something to coach up there as far as mental lock-in on the road as well. Syracuse, sure, it's a little cold. That might still be some snow on the ground. I don't know what the weather's been like up there. Show up ready to play. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. And then, get this, when you're leaving Syracuse, you can watch the the NC State game, because that starts at 11 p.m. out there against Cal. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We have a Dean's List coming up, but first, here's Dennis Cox.
Dennis Cox here for my good friends over at Law Tigers. Folks, I want you all to do something real fast. Take a time today. If you haven't already, go to caniacsbike.com. Why do you say that? Because the Carolina Hurricanes, Law Tigers, Tobacco Road, Harley-Davidson, and Shiny Side Paint, they've all teamed up together once again to give one lucky fan a custom Caniacs motorcycle. That's right, a custom motorcycle. Simple to enter. Just go to caniacsbike.com for your chance to win. Pics of the bike. You'll see photos of the bike right there on the site. Again, a custom-built motorcycle, custom painted with logos and colors of the Canes, white wall tires, gorgeous bike. Just go to caniacsbike.com. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Maybe you don't want the motorcycle, but you can give it to them. Or maybe you know someone that might like it. Tell them. Go to caniacsbike.com. It will be given away on the ice at the last home game of the year. Law Tigers is a network of independent law firms who are members of the American Association of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Law Tigers is not a law firm.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We'll be back with the Dean's List, including one player that is playing so well he has confused the national media. Stick around.
Soundstation and Security, your automotive and audio experts. Car audio, car video, home theater, wheels and tires, and so much more. Plus, did you know Soundstation and Security offers full service for your vehicle? Alignments, inspection, oil changes, window tinting, and custom exhaust. And with a variety of financing options, Soundstation and Security can help you get what you need today. 2 locations, downtown Smithfield and on Glenwood Avenue in Raleigh. Soundstation and Security. Visit myhotsound.com.
This is Gordon Miller with Miller Lending and Carey, and I have a question. When it comes time to buy a house, do you just look at one? Probably not. So when it comes time to working with a lender, multiple surveys have shown that borrowers who requested multiple quotes were far more likely to receive better terms when compared to those who likely only spoke to one. So why Miller Lending? As a mortgage broker, we're not limited to only one lender, as is the case with your bank. We act as more of a one-stop shop. With access to over 24 lenders, it's not uncommon to receive multiple bids for your mortgage. Recently, we've saved numerous homeowners upwards of $10,000 or more in closing costs for the same interest rate they'd been quoted. Now, while you may think all lenders are the same, they aren't. So whether it's a no closing cost purchase, our highly competitive FHA, VA, or jumbo rate, see why thousands of satisfied clients have chosen Miller Lending as their lender for life. 919-447-3377. Or simply apply online at millerlending.com. Miller Lending is an equal housing lender and MLS number 250-2146.
It's bow time.
A leg and thigh dinner from Bojangles for just $5.99.
Leg and thigh dinner from Bojangles for just $5.99.
So crispy.
So crispy.
And juicy.
And juicy.
So much flavor.
So much.
Stop it. What are you doing?
What? You expect me to get this delicious deal and not say anything?
You're unbelievable.
You're unbelievable.
With a boldly seasoned leg and thigh, choice of fixin', a biscuit, and legendary iced tea, it's a deal so good it's worth repeating. So eat and repeat while it lasts. It's bow time.
It's bow time. Dine in, drive through, or tap your favorite delivery app and have Bojangles come to you. Satisfy your craving for flavor right now with Bojangles 2-piece dinner. 2 pieces of Bojangles dark meat chicken, your choice of fixin', a biscuit, and iced tea for just $5.99. That's right, just $5.99 for limited time at participating Bojangles. What are you waiting for? When you're hungry, it's always bow time.
Sometimes I struggle to get to sleep. My body stopped for the day, but my mind is still running. So I take ZQuil.
ZQuil, the world's #1 sleep aid brand, has a range of non-habit-forming products to fit you and your family's needs. Invest in a great night's sleep for the best you tomorrow.
I'm awake and ready to take on anything.
Better days start with ZQuil nights. Explore our products at ZQuil.com. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Hey, friends, it's Paul Ihander for FanDuel. The FanDuel Kick of Destiny is happening Sunday, and this time it's every Manning for himself. This Super Bowl, 2 legends take the field in a sudden death field goal showdown. Peyton versus Eli, live from New Orleans. 1 kick to claim ultimate family bragging rights. Who rises to the moment? Pick your winner now in the FanDuel app, and if you back the right brother, you'll earn a share of $10 million in bonus bets. It's the FanDuel Kick of Destiny 3. Make your free pick. And don't forget to tune in to watch the showdown live during the Super Bowl 59 pregame show on Fox at 3 Eastern. May the best Manning win. Download your app. Head to FanDuel.com/Paul and bet with FanDuel, official partner of Super Bowl 59. 21 plus and present in North Carolina. No purchase necessary. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. Void where prohibited. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
Rebound pulled in by Lubin. Here come the Tar Heels the other way. Oh, my goodness, Ian Jackson with a tomahawk in transition over the top of Salas.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. This is better. This is the side of the concert I was on. Shout out Nas. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Big Nas fan. Also big fan of the Dean's List, so let's go ahead and put class in session. Dean's List, those in the college sports world that are deserving of praise, a little extra hype, a little extra support. Starting with, this is a delay. We actually had this person on the Dean's List a couple of weeks ago, and then what we put them on the Dean's List for didn't end up happening, and it's going to happen this weekend. Dick Vitale. A PTP, baby. A real diaper dandy. He's a real Rolls Roycer. Hall of Fame broadcaster Dick Vitale back in the broadcasting booth for the first time in nearly 2 years. It was supposed to be a couple of weeks ago. I believe he had some additional health issue. He's been battling cancer for years. Now I believe he has been designated cancer-free, but he had some other health issue pop up. So it was delayed until this Saturday, where he will be in the broadcast booth for number 2 Duke at Clemson on ESPN. He's making a comeback. That's it for my Dick Vitale impression. But he is in the Dean's List. He is on the Dean's List. Next up on the Dean's List, I don't know how many of you were watching ACC basketball last night, right? It was kind of an off night for the teams in the Triangle. Nathan George, sophomore guard, Georgia Tech, makes the Dean's List. He actually kind of hurt the ACC because he helped Georgia Tech beat Clemson after helping Georgia Tech beat Louisville, which are two teams that if you want the ACC to have any kind of contenders, those two teams have to play well. So that's not cool from Nathan George, but here's what is cool. 28 points, 5 rebounds, 7 assists in an upset. But that's not the reason why I have him on the Dean's List. 55 minutes played in a 3 overtime game. Whew. That is all 40 minutes of regulation, all 5 minutes of the first overtime, all 5 minutes of the second overtime, and all 5 minutes of the third overtime. That's a stat from like 1954. You know, when a pitcher throws like 130 pitches or something and they bring up remember when Oil Can Boyd threw 212 pitches in all 18 innings of a doubleheader back in 1957? Like, that's what 55 minutes feels like. That's almost 3 halves of basketball. Most players don't play one complete half of basketball in a basketball game. So give Nathan George some credit, not only for playing well, but for never once looking so tired that his coach, Damon Stoudemire, felt the need to get him out, right? Because once you're playing like 52 minutes, if you're sucking wind when there's a dead ball, a coach is going to be like, all right, give him a break. It's pretty good shape right there from Nathan George.
Here you go. Here's a baseball stat for you. Most innings pitched in a Major League Baseball game, 26 innings, set by Leon. Here's the thing. By Leon Cador and Joe Oster. May 1st, 1920, the game was called due to darkness.
They both pitched the whole thing?
They both did. And the game ended in a 1-1 tie. Cador faced 96 batters. Oster faced 90. Neither pitcher gave up a run in the last 20 innings.
I'm trying to
Here's the thing. Here's the kicker. 26 innings. Again, called due to darkness. The game lasted 3 hours and 50 minutes in real time. That's it.
Hey, they were out
26 innings.
Ball back. Here comes the pitch. I mean, I hope they were throwing nothing but junk balls. You can't be throwing heaters in the 25th inning. You're throwing rainbows. My changeup is 20 miles an hour. My fastball is 28 miles an hour at that point. Credit to him. Nathan George, not quite that kind of stamina, but still pretty impressive.
Working on it, though.
Yeah, get there. Last individual player on the Dean's List for today for me. Do you have somebody you want to get to?
Leon Cador and Joe Oster.
Fair. What teams was it? Do you know? Was it like the Because there's always like the Rochester Frankfurters or something like that.
Leon pitching for Brooklyn and
Okay. So these are squads.
Brooklyn versus Boston.
All right, never mind.
Probably the Boston Braves at the time.
Yeah. But those would make sense.
That was actually Brooklyn Dodgers, Boston Braves.
All right, never mind. That wasn't as cool. Shouldn't have thrown the brakes and gone backwards on that one. Last individual player on the Dean's List for today from me. Ian Jackson, UNC freshman guard. I know UNC is a team, a little bit of a lull right now, but UNC put out a little press release today, a little team website article. I'm going to just give you how I learned of this. Popped up and it said, Ian Jackson is a midseason candidate for the Julius Erving Award. And I went, Julius Erving Award? Before I clicked on it, I went, what is that? Who does that go? Like, he's not a guard. Maybe it's freshman of the year. That's what I thought. So I clicked on it. Goes to the top small forward.
They have him listed as a small forward?
I went, Ian Jackson's playing so well. Everybody's confused as to what position he's playing.
Well, he was the second tallest guy on the floor when they started the other night.
Yeah, I eventually got there. I went, well, I guess they're saying, like, in your starting lineup, you have to have a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, a 5. And by that, I guess, default, he becomes the 3, which is the small forward, because Cadeau and Davis are the 1 and the 2. But he's a guard. Like, I can't – he is a guard. He's on the same midseason candidate list for the Julius Erving Award as Cooper Flagg. They don't play the same position. I get basketball is going positionless, but when you're on a list that, like, you just shouldn't be on, that's hilarious. So Ian Jackson, you're on the Dean's List, and you should be on the Dean's List because you're a college athlete, which is what this list is for, because you made a list that you shouldn't even be eligible for. It's like, you know who I'm picking to win Rookie of the Year next year in the NFL? Saquon Barkley. He's not supposed to be on the list, but hey, Ian Jackson's not supposed to be on the list either. You're so good, you're making lists that you shouldn't make. Last one, and this is like, sometimes I joke around with the Dean's List. That one kind of funny, right? This one is 100% honest. Earnest. Genuine. The final Dean's List goes to all of the women's basketball players in the ACC. Somebody's got to make it happen. We're sitting here having to defend men's basketball every which way and running out of arguments to do so for the Atlantic Coast Conference as a whole. Meanwhile, the ACC, Notre Dame, Duke, UNC, NC State, Georgia Tech, Cal, Florida State, all in the top 25. And you're seeing what the men's basketball used to have, which is games like a couple nights ago when Duke and NC State play. It can be a really good game. You can have really good performances. The lower-ranked team by just a little can win, can pull off the upset and have a really cool win, and it's not going to hurt the team that lost. Right? Duke, they lost, but they lost to a top 25 or a top 15 team. Right? It's a good loss. It's a great win. It's glorious for everyone. That's how it should be. Way to go, women's basketball in the Atlantic Coast Conference. The men, every single loss, I'm going like, how are we going to explain this? Did that eliminate them from the tournament? How far did that knock them off the bubble? That's every single loss in the ACC now. Which does lead us out of the Dean's List, so we'll go ahead and dismiss. Congratulations to all the Dean's List members.
By the way, it is National Women in Sports Day.
Is it?
It is.
That was unintentional. Women in sports on the Dean's List. All of you. We should celebrate that. Round of applause. Women in Sports Day. Way to go, everybody. Now, this is, again, unintentional. We're just going to kind of roast the men's ACC basketball on Women in Sports Day. There might be some joke there that I will attempt to refrain from making. The ACC needs an emergency regroup meeting. Men's basketball, everybody. I don't know. Where's the center point for the ACC now? Is it like Lincoln, Nebraska? That's where it's like equidistant to everybody. Got to get Texas and California involved. Everybody needs to meet in the middle. Like clandestine, right? All under the cover of darkness. Nobody knows you're there. Go into a room. There'll be some kind of secret password you have to say to get in. It'll be something like, I don't know, ACC Legends. Something crazy. John Elway. Right, ACC Legend. That's the password. Everybody will get there. You'll go in, and you need to have a real honest heart-to-heart. Some old school, like, get yourself together. You need a Bobby Knight-style talking to without the, allegations of physical stuff. Just an old school dressing down of men's basketball in the ACC. And if Duke wants to sit there and go, well, actually, you weren't having a good season, that's why people don't like you. Sit there and just listen, okay? So on the bubble, let's go back. This changed since yesterday. Yesterday we did bracketology update, right? And what did we have? In Joe Lunardi's bubble, right? He's the bracketologist for ESPN. You had Pitt as one of the last four in. Okay? You had North Carolina, one of the next four out. You had Wake, one of the next four out. We know the teams that are in the mix, right? The teams that were in: Clemson, Louisville.
SMU in the next four out as well.
SMU in the next four out as well. And the teams that weren't even on the bubble: Clemson, Louisville, Duke, right? Those were the squads that were quote-unquote in. Last night? Sorry. Let's go back to Monday. Monday, Pitt lost by 16 at home to Virginia.
Bruh.
Georgia Tech, who's under 500, in triple overtime last night, beat Clemson.
Bruh.
Georgia Tech, who's under 500, earlier in their season, actually their most recent game before Clemson, beat Louisville. So the teams that were not on the bubble, if you lose to schools that are under 500, guess where you're likely going to end up? On the bubble. And so now I'm looking at the bubble teams and I'm going, Wake is traveling to California, traveling to California to play Stanford. Stanford is a different beast in California than when they travel east. They are much better when teams have to travel from the east out there. SMU's on the bubble. They're playing at Virginia Tech tonight. Louisville is now likely closer to the bubble after losing to Georgia Tech. They are at Boston College tonight. The ACC is in danger of eating themselves alive. Eating themselves alive because of everything I said talking about the women's basketball in the ACC a second ago. It used to be you could lose those games and it would go, wow, that's such a great win for that team. And honestly, not a bad loss for that team because they're both very good teams. Now it's you lose in the ACC and it's not to Duke. Oh, no. It's a panic move. And when that happens, if it happens too many times, right? If Clemson loses a couple more times, they're no longer even a medium-sized trophy fish. If Louisville loses a couple more times, everybody's going, that beginning was a fluke. Now beating them doesn't matter. And suddenly, there's no way for you to be upwardly mobile. Joe Lunardi, again, ESPN bracketologist. This going back to Monday. So before a bunch of these upset losses in the ACC, talked about the pathway for bubble teams from this particular conference and how difficult it's going to be.
All those bubble teams in the ACC, Pitt, Wake, Carolina, SMU, they've played 27 quad one games, and they've won 3 of them.
Oh.
So it's, in some ways, a miracle that Pitt is still in the field. It's more a comment on some of the teams chasing them. So outside of a Duke or playing Clemson away, let's say, just not real opportunities. And, beating each other up in the meantime cannot take the kind of loss that Pitt did tonight. Carolina, of course, has lost 4 out of 5 and had a chance at Cameron Indoor to make a statement, had a chance at Pitt before that. Absolutely a steel cage match coming up, Pitt and Carolina in the rematch this Saturday in Chapel Hill.
I mean, normally, and I was this way last year, and I was this way the year before, and I was this way the year before, when people want to disrespect the ACC, I get combative. I start throwing down. No, what you don't realize is they're actually, and this year I'm going to be pleading, right? Joe Lunardi basically, 3 out of 27 quad one games they've won, 3 out of 27. Just the fact that they're on the bubble, I feel like we should send them like a gift basket. Like, hey, appreciate you for not absolutely crushing us for those horrendous games against good teams.
Hey, you didn't completely stink.
Thanks for keeping us on the bubble. We won't forget it, Joe. And do you know what's right? There's 2 ways to look at this. 1, what's the cause? 2, what's the solution? Right? And you kind of have to figure out the cause before you figure out the solution. I think we figured out the cause. The cause is all of the coaching turnover. Right? The cause is, well, what was it? Rick Pitino, when he was the coach of the Celtics, said, Larry Bird's not walking through that tunnel. Like, the cause is Roy Williams, Coach K, Jim Boeheim, Tony Bennett, Jim Larinaga at his prime, Leonard Hamilton, once he retires after this year, announced it a couple days. They're not walking through that tunnel. So I'm not going to say like every year over the last 50 has been unbelievable for ACC basketball. There's been ups and downs. There's been years where they have, 3 top 5 teams. There's been years where they probably have no deserving top 10 teams. Like there's ups and downs, but there was always a unanimous understanding that the leaders will get it right. Right? If Carolina started slow, Dean will figure it out. I'll give Roy another couple weeks. He'll have this team cruising. You didn't panic because you trusted the drivers. There's very little of that right now. And not because they're not smart guys, not because they're not smart coaches that have been around the game. It's just an experience thing. With Leonard Hamilton retiring at the end of this year, he was the longest tenured ACC coach. John Shire is now easily in the top half most tenured ACC coaches. John Shire is the 8th longest tenured ACC coach. He took over in 2022. Like, he's still getting, when we talk about Duke this year, he's still getting the he's a young coach. He's still learning. I'm glad to see him figure out this thing that plagued him in his first 2 years. He's now one of the elder statesmen in the ACC, along with Hubert Davis, who's tied for the 6th longest tenure. He showed up 1 year before Shire in 2021. And Kevin Keats at NC State is the 2nd longest tenured coach in the ACC. He had been there since 2017. Do you remember the first time? Actually, not the first time. It happens every couple months. You have to go into the gas station. You're getting a drink. You're getting some snacks. You got to pay for gas, whatever. And you see that little tear-off sign that says, if you're not, if you weren't born on this date, you can't buy tobacco products. First time that date was 2000, and you're like, whoa, what happened here? The 8th longest tenured head coach in an 18-team league, so a top half, most experienced coach coaching in the league, got the job in 2022. It just turned 2025. I just stopped writing 2024 on the top of my papers. It just happened. And it goes back to what we said yesterday, right? Because that's the cause. The cause is you just don't have the experienced, grizzled, veteran coaches that will look at, this roster isn't playing the way I thought, and have the move, right? Have the fix. You don't have that. So that's the cause. The solution goes back to what we said yesterday about UNC. When Hubert Davis, into his 4th season, is finally going hey, you know what? We're going to hire someone to run recruiting, someone to run fundraising, and a GM, and we have to build out this staff. These guys need help. These guys need help for at least a little while. I look at it, and I put so much of this, I always kind of relate it back to other sports or whatever. Imagine this is quarterbacks, okay? And we had Brady, and we had Manning, and we had Breeze, and we had Rivers, and we had the other Manning, and we had these quarterbacks for 2 decades. And then the young guys took over because those guys retired. Guess what the young guys needed? Good offensive lines, great play callers, right? Good wide receivers. They needed that. Brady, he was putting together great offenses in New England with the joke always was grocery store baggers at wide receiver.
Yeah.
right? Rodgers, do you know how many first-round picks Rodgers got at wide receiver in his career in Green Bay? None. Up until very recently, like the Jets, I believe the only first-round pick he ever completed a pass to was Mercedes Lewis, and that was at the very end of his career, a tight end that had played for a billion other teams. Those guys could get it done without that help. You didn't turn around and go to their replacements and say, yeah, Brady could do it without any solid number one wide receivers, so we're just going to have you do it too. No, you gave them more help, and then as they get better, guess what they start doing? Asking for more money, and that's when you start taking away their help. Same thing should happen with these coaches, right? If you're taking over if you're taking over Virginia this offseason, if you're taking over Miami this offseason, if you're taking over Florida State this offseason because they're all open, or if they don't go with the interim coaches because those coaches just left, I would be asking as much as I would money. I would be asking for support. I'd be asking for help. I'd be asking for recruiting help. I'd be asking for program like front office help. I'd be asking for help because it's hard enough just doing the coaching thing. It's hard enough just being able to look at your roster and go, oh, these skill sets aren't matching up the way I envisioned them when I recruited. I need to put 110%, I know that's impossible, but you get what I'm saying, of my attention into finding the way this puzzle piece works. You may not have had to do that for Roy Williams and Coach K. Those guys had other wealths of knowledge to reach into. Mm-hmm. And you hope your next coach, whoever ends up being the guy, gets there, but they're not going to start there. Right? Kind of like a Patrick Mahomes started with, well, he needs Tyreek Hill, and he needs this, and he needs Kelsey, and now he's getting to the point where it's like, take Tyreek away, he'll make it work with Rashee Rice. Eventually, he's going to take away Kelsey, and he'll get it done with Noah Gray, and he'll become the old head, but he didn't start that way. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. You got to give him some coaching. You got to give the coaches coaching. Come on, that might be a thing.
Like a GM.
Back. Yeah. UNC. Just learn about it. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. I'll give you some coaching coming up right here, right now. Tim Donnelly here for Bailey's Fine Jewelry. And I'm not really giving you the coaching, but I can direct you to good coaching. BaileyBox.com, Valentine's Gift Guide. It's live right now. Go to BaileyBox.com. Easy to find. And what it's going to help you do is get a big victory, right? Get a win. We all need a win. Get a dub on Valentine's. Right? Whether it's heart-shaped jewelry, whether it's the Bailey collection with the excellent quality and service you're used to, rings, bracelets, diamonds, those diamond studs. They have a really cool diamond stud program, by the way, where you can get studs, right? Wear them, keep good care of them, and then there's an agreed-upon amount. You can bring them in and trade them in, bring some cash, and you get bigger diamond studs and bigger diamond studs. So, right? You don't have to save up for 10 years to get those gargantuan rocks that you want to give your special someone. You can build up to the gargantuan rocks you want to give your special someone. It's all at Bailey's Fine Jewelry. I always prefer going to the Village District location. You can check out all their locations, but Village District in Raleigh also has the Omega Watch Boutique and the Fox and Bailey Watch Shop, which I tremendously enjoy. So that's at the Raleigh's Village District location of Bailey's Fine Jewelry. Before you head out, check out the Valentine Gift Guide on BaileyBox.com and make sure Valentine's Day doesn't sneak up on you. It's less than 2 weeks away. So prepare, get the coaching you need, head out to Bailey's. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We have football at 4 coming up, and we qualify another potential big game VIP. You don't want to miss it. Stick around.
Evan, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
In no way, shape, or form are the Dallas Mavericks title contenders. To me, it's more likely they don't make the playoffs than win a title. They're not winning a title. They're not getting to the finals. This is not a finals team by any stretch of the imagination. They got worse now and later.
I vehemently disagree. I think the Dallas Mavericks are closer to a title.
Unsportsmanlike.
Mornings from 6 to 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Breaking news coming in from Bet365, where every nail-biting overtime win, breakaway, pick six, three-point shot, underdog win, buzzer beater, shootout, walk-off, And absolutely every play in between is amazing. From football to basketball and hockey to baseball, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. 21 plus only.
Zero Res wants to give your home the love and attention it deserves. This month, get 3 rooms of carpets cleaned starting at $109 and take $100 off your air duct cleaning. Book online anytime at ZeroResRaleigh.com.
Best idea for both of you this Valentine's Day? Adam and Eve. Everybody wins when you walk in with a gift from your local Adam and Eve store. Maybe you've been to one of our 6 Triangle locations. Maybe this is the reason you've been waiting for. Adam and Eve stores are filled with romantic, intimate gifts, from playful to passionate and everything in between. They'll even gift wrap it for you. Shop in-store today and get a free gift with a qualifying purchase at your local Adam and Eve, where pleasure begins and passion never ends.
A new game has landed in North Carolina. Officials are calling this new species of game Cash Pop. So easy to play, it's out of this world. Reports confirm you just pick and match one number to win up to $2,500. With 5 drawings every day, cash landings have been cited across the state. So be on the lookout for Cash Pop from the North Carolina Education Lottery. The wins are out there. Must be 18 to play. See Cash Pop prize and odds chart at nclottery.com for details. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Don't go through another year with all that high interest debt. Let Loan Pronto wipe it all out now. Hey, it's Dennis Cox. Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan makes it easy to pay off all your credit cards or tackle that 2025 home improvement project. Get cash in your pocket fast. No appraisals, no paperwork, no waiting. Loan Pronto's AI-driven tech gets you approved and funded in as little as 1 day. One client got $150,000 approved in under 24 hours, paid off all their credit cards, 2 cars, and a personal loan, saving over $1,500 per month. With low fixed rates and lightning fast transfers, you can do it too. Consolidate debt, improve your home, take control of your finances. Imagine being credit card debt-free by this time next week. Don't wait. Call Loan Pronto now, 919-381-1760, or visit loanpronto.com. Get a free rate quote with no hard credit pull, 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, injury lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it. Go to ritchielaw.com.
That's ritchielaw.com.
They score! WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. Take us with you on the radio, Instagram, TikTok, Alexa, and YouTube. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. Cloudy skies, chilly temperatures, a little bit of drizzle, and temperatures will just keep falling through the afternoon from mid-40s on down to around 40 degrees by the evening commute. Overnight tonight, a few sprinkles and a low of 38. We start tomorrow morning with clouds and a small chance of showers, but the sunshine returns in the afternoon. Big warm up, a high of 68.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 4 o'clock check-in for money. Dow Jones up 317 points to 44,873.
Let's move the chains. Time for football at 4.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Before we jump into football at 4, one of you is going to be qualified to be the big game VIP. Caller number 9 right now, 919-860-5326, gets a $25 Buffalo Brothers gift card and qualifies for a chance to win a VIP table for 6 at Buffalo Brothers on Lake Boone Trail for the big game. You know the one I'm talking about. The big game this Sunday. The VIP table comes with a $300 gift card to Buffalo Brothers, so 99.9 The Fan, that's us, and Buffalo Brothers is hooking one of you up with a big game VIP experience. But we will announce the winner. Is this tomorrow we will announce the winner? I want to make sure we get our dates right here.
Friday.
Friday we'll announce the winner at 4, around this time.
Yeah, Friday we'll announce our winner 4 o'clock on Friday, but we're still going to qualify someone else tomorrow, though.
Exactly. So tomorrow is your last day to qualify. So there's right now and there's tomorrow as far as qualifying here on the drive. You can also qualify tomorrow morning on Next Up with Paul Ihander from 9 to 10. So caller number 9 right now, 919-860-5326. If you want to be a big game VIP, you got to qualify. 919-860-5326. Caller number 9 not only qualifies but gets that sweet $25 Buffalo Brothers gift card. I'm jealous. Can't be eligible. Them's be the breaks. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. No, I'm happy for whichever one of our listeners gets that opportunity. Right now, I am happy for UNC football. Football at 4, by the way. We're jumping into it. So today was signing day. The second signing day. Signing days become so convoluted in college football. There used to be one day everybody got together. Players would all play that hat game, right? I'm picking this one, no this one, no this one. I'm going here. Now there's early signing day. There's this signing day, and then everybody switches after your first year when you hit the portal anyway. But it's after the second signing day, after today, the rankings are kind of solidified, right? These are the recruiting rankings you're going to be judged on. All right, you brought in the 7th best recruiting class in the country. Can you turn that into on-field results? That kind of thing. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm slightly underwhelmed by the first recruiting class of UNC under Bill Belichick. Granted, didn't have a lot of time. That's a reason, not an excuse. Had to kind of learn how to do it on the fly, made his way around, had to re-recruit players from his own team out of the transfer portal that when the coaching change was happening with Mac Brown, put their name into the portal, had to go re-recruit commits that had committed to the previous staff. So it wasn't easy, but if you look at ESPN's recruiting rankings as of today, 45th. 45th. But why would I – what? You said you were happy for UNC. Now you're saying you're underwhelmed by the recruiting class. Yeah, I am. I'm happy for UNC because it has to be, and I'm going to speak full coach speak here, but there's a reason why cliches are cliches. You have to be process over results. You have to be, did we do things the right way regardless of the results? Right? It's did you make the right read? Did you throw it to the open receiver? Did you throw an accurate ball? If they don't catch it, you don't turn around and go, okay, next time I'm not going to throw it to the open receiver and I'm going to throw a bad ball because it didn't work last time. You go, no, my process was good. I'll do it again next time. I like the process of UNC. I like the message. Bill Belichick hit the road. Bill Belichick was in high schools up and down the East Coast. He was in his Sunday finest, right? His Carolina blue shirt and tie and jacket, and he was going into high schools and he was recruiting, and I like the message as well. Okay? North Carolina, and also there's a great ESPN article out right now, .com. It's from a couple days ago, but it talks to the recruits. It talks to the commits. It talks to recruits in next year's class that are being recruited by UNC to kind of get a vibe for what kind of recruiter Belichick is and what kind of a recruiting program UNC is. North Carolina quarterback commit Autori Newkirk had this quote in the article. Everything is being run like it's the next level. The motto is that we're going to be the 33rd team in the NFL. That's a great message. If you have Bill Belichick and his staff of, quite frankly, a few former NFL coaches, the Freddie Kitchens, the Steve Belichicks, those guys, going into high schools up and down the East Coast and saying, we plan to run this thing like the 33rd NFL team. I don't care that you are the 45th recruiting class this year. I do not expect that next year. I don't care that you're behind NC State and Duke and Pitt and Stanford and all these other ACC schools this year. If you keep that process, I think it's going to work. I think it's going to work. Belichick, I'll use, there was an anecdote in the article from right here around us, right? Belichick went to Rollsville High School, home to 4-star junior defensive end and Tar Heels pledge, Xavion Griffin Haynes, one of his first stops after taking the job.
That's where Noah Rogers went, by the way.
I mean, there's a whole host of college. Rollsville, legit. Rollsville had the head coach there. Rackley is his last name. Coach Rackley told this to ESPN. He told Xavion straight up, "You're going to college, but you're an NFL player. I see you as a first rounder already based on who you are and what you bring to the table." That's good process.
Yeah.
If you find the guys who you can say that to honestly, right? Don't go blowing smoke. If you find the guys that you can say that to honestly, and you deliver that message with a 6-time Super Bowl winning head coach in his Carolina blue tie, and you do that over and over and over again, the quality and talent in your program will rise. That is what I'm talking about when I say I am happy for UNC, even if the results lag a little bit. Jared Curtis, who is a 5-star in the 2026 class, a quarterback, the number 4 overall prospect, quoted in ESPN saying, "They're bringing their NFL playbook to North Carolina. It's going to be the exact same as the NFL, and it's the place you're going to go to get prepared for the league." I played quarterback. I was not heavily recruited. Some would say I was not recruited. I ended up as a walk-on. But I can tell you this. In my dreams as a high school player, that is the pitch I would be given. We're bringing an NFL playbook, not an NFL-style playbook. We're not running a prototypical NFL offense. We are bringing a carbon copy of the NFL offense that helped me win Super Bowls. How can you get more prepared for the next level than that? And starting it up, right? It's like pushing a boulder. Okay? Starting up programs recruiting, it's like pushing a boulder. Really slow at first. And you got to work hard. But if you're doing it right, and if you're lifting with your legs and you're pushing, you got some power, it'll tilt, then it'll roll. And if you can keep the momentum going, it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. We've seen it time and time and time again. All you do is get more and more and more credible. If in this class, the 45th ranked class in the country coming out of second signing day, produces just a couple of guys who build NFL buzz, and some of the transfers, maybe one from Washington, right? They got a couple 4-star transfers. If those guys end up day 1 or day 2 picks, then Belichick's pitch next year is everything you just heard, which I think is really like good copywriting. Whoever your writers are, tip them. Plus, you get to say, we did this with so-and-so. You saw him in the draft this year. It's just going to become easier and easier. So I understand that UNC fans, when the Bill Belichick intro presser, Dennis, you were there, the buzz was high. Everybody was excited. I'm sure you thought, like, ooh, we're going to have a top 5 recruiting class in the country, and no one's going to say no to Bill Belichick. You might, just not yet. I think the mechanism is in place for those types of things in the future, but it's right now it's about setting everything up.
Yeah, when he got introduced, I think everyone kind of had already set their mind on where they were going.
Mm-hmm.
It was going to be hard to flip some people.
And they did a few.
But it's going to be hard to just instantly go to the number 2 recruit in the country. Like, hey, come here. Okay.
Yeah.
Especially when you don't know what my NIL deal and all that kind of stuff's going to be. They got to figure that kind of stuff out.
And they now have time for next year. And you get to see the Bill Belichick thing where he takes the guys who maybe aren't as pedigreed and he coaches them up and wins games anyway. If that happens, watch the heck out. How long is that? How long until that TCU game? Can't get here soon enough. That's their opener, by the way. Monday Night Football,
of course.
Monday Night Football.
Hey, guys, I know what Monday Night Football's like. Did it all the time.
Yeah. I'll call up Tom, see what he likes to do. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Tim Donnelly here now for DraftKings Sportsbook. Here's the deal, everybody. You know it. We're not talking about some tiny little game. We're not talking about some week 1 game. We're talking about the Super Bowl. Super Bowl 59. Get in on the action at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of Super Bowl 59. Scoring touchdowns is key to hoisting the Lombardi Trophy, right? You got to score 6. You can score big when they score big by betting on them at DraftKings Sportsbook, the number 1 place to bet touchdowns. And here's the deal, everybody. There's some rumblings, right? Some people have predicted that maybe, I don't know, the best pass-catching tight end in playoff history, could be considering rolling off into the distance if they get the dub in this one. I bet you he tries to score a touchdown if that's the case, and if he even more so than normal. And if that happens, he's plus 140. You can make some money there, right? That's an anytime touchdown for Travis Kelce. If you wanted to go first touchdown score, plus 1,000. Same odds, plus 1,000 for 2 touchdowns. You know Mahomes loves his safety blanket in big moments. You can go ahead and check that one out. If you're ready to place your first bet, it could be something that simple, like just betting on a player to score 6. Go to DraftKings Sportsbook app and make your pick. New DraftKings customers, listen up especially right now. You can bet $5 and get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Just download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code TIMD at signup. That's code TIMD when you sign up for new customers to get $200 in bonus bets instantly when you bet just $5. Only on DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 877-185-543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. 21 plus, North Carolina only. Eligibility restrictions apply. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio. We still have a lot to get to, including a ladder challenge where I squeaked by. You know what might be the best gambling bets? The ones that you get completely wrong but somehow win anyway. I'll explain coming up next.
Hey, it's Adam Gold, and do you have a late-night craving for in-depth analysis on the Carolina Hurricanes and their latest game, their latest win, their pursuit of the Stanley Cup? Well, I can quench your thirst. I can feed that appetite on the Canes Corner podcast, the morning after edition, which drops the morning after every Hurricanes game. Get it wherever you get your podcast. Brought to you by the Aluminum Company of North Carolina.
It's bow time.
A leg and thigh dinner from Bojangles for just $5.99.
Leg and thigh dinner from Bojangles for just $5.99.
So crispy.
So crispy.
And juicy.
And juicy.
So much flavor.
So much.
Stop it. What are you doing?
What, you expect me to get this delicious deal and not say anything?
You're unbelievable.
You're unbelievable.
With a boldly seasoned leg and thigh, choice of fixin', a biscuit, and legendary iced tea, it's a deal so good it's worth repeating. So eat and repeat while it lasts. It's bow time.
It's bow time. Dine in, drive through, or tap your favorite delivery app and have Bojangles come to you. Satisfy your craving for flavor right now with Bojangles 2-piece dinner. 2 pieces of Bojangles dark meat chicken, your choice of fixin', a biscuit, and iced tea for just $5.99. That's right, just $5.99 for limited time at participating Bojangles. What are you waiting for? When you're hungry, it's always bow time.
Hey guys, Valentine's Day is right around the corner, and Cupid's arrow is pointing straight to Bailey's. We're here to help and make it easy for you to find the perfect gift for the one you love. Bailey's has something for everyone and every budget. We have a huge selection of jewelry and gifts for under $500, from David Yurman, Apolita, Mikimoto, Lagos, and more. And if you're looking for something extra special, we also have an amazing selection of diamond jewelry. Shop in-store or online at baileybox.com. Give her a gift that's better than chocolate or roses with the easiest and can't-miss way to make her Valentine's Day extra special with a little black and white striped box from Bailey's Fine Jewelry. Located in Raleigh's Village District and Crabtree Valley Mall, also in Cary's Fenton, Rocky Mount, and Greenville. Just a little reminder from me, Marcy Bailey. Every woman wants a Bailey box.
Robinhood Gold members can now enjoy the VIP treatment, receiving a 3% IRA match on annual retirement contributions. With Robinhood Gold, the perks of the high net worth are now available for any net worth. The new gold standard is here with Robinhood Gold. To receive a 3% boost on annual IRA contributions, sign up at Robinhood.com/gold. Investing involves risk. 3% match requires Robinhood Gold $5 a month for 1 year from first match. Must keep funds in IRA for 5 years. Go to Robinhood.com/boost. Robinhood Financial LLC member SIPC. Gold membership is offered by Robinhood Gold LLC.
Morning, Paula.
Morning, Ron.
Another day in Adminville, am I right?
What are you working on? Oh!
You okay?
Your tabs. You have so many open.
Yeah, gotta order lunch for the big client meeting. With great responsibility comes tabs.
I can help. Close all those tabs and open just one, EasyCater.com. Online ordering from local restaurants, plus tools to save time, stay on budget, track expenses.
One tab to rule them all.
EasyCater, the smarter way to order food for work. Order now at EasyCater.com.
Thomas lost it. Now here comes Robinson the other way. He scores! The Canes kept it rolling and right on cue. Eric Robinson's 12th of the year.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Coming up in about 7-8 minutes, we have Kevin McGeehan, the Campbell Camels men's basketball coach. Talked to him earlier today. You'll hear that conversation. Camels on a little bit of a hot streak right now. Won their last 5, including some dominant victories in their last 2. So we'll be talking with the I wonder if he goes by head camel, the head coach of the Camels, the lead camel, Kevin McGeehan. And just
big hump.
Big hump.
Yeah, roll humps.
Right, I get that. Can you imagine a freshman brash point guard walking in? What up, big hump? I just don't.
End line, baseline. Let's go.
I don't see that working out well. Maybe a senior who put in the time could pull it off. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. I'm in a good mood because I got the ladder challenge correct last night, and I'd be honest, pretty lucky. I think these are the best kind of bets, by the way. Bets that you make and you have no business winning. Like what you're predicting to happen doesn't happen at all, and instead somehow squeak one out. So I picked Kentucky against Ole Miss last night, but because it's a ladder challenge, I had to tease it all the way back to giving Kentucky plus 14.5. My reasoning was Kentucky had just lost to John Calipari in his return to Lexington with Arkansas. Kentucky's a top 15 team in the country. They're talented. I thought they would be furious, and they'd want to take out their wrath on Ole Miss. Ole Miss, another top 25 team, so it wouldn't be an overlooked situation. It wouldn't be a letdown. It would be like, all right, they're the ones next up. Ole Miss won the game. Kentucky did not play well. Ole Miss won by 14. I got 14.5, baby. I got everything that I thought about the bet went wrong. Won it anyway. That hook came through. The hook will bring you back. So I got lucky last night with the win. That brings me up to $14.30 as we start kind of fresh here at the beginning of February. Dennis, what happened with you?
I had Nikita Kucherov for the Tampa Bay Lightning with 2+ shots on goal. He nailed it, had like 4, including scoring 1. So easily cashed that one, and I'm up to $14.
All right, so I still got a 30-cent lead on you.
That you do.
And I'm coming in today. I'm going to the Duke Syracuse game.
Okay.
I'm teasing. This is how crazy the Duke spread is. I am teasing Duke down to being just an 8.5-point favorite at Syracuse. So I am taking Duke, giving the 8.5. So Duke has to win by 9 or more at Syracuse. Duke versus the ACC is something I am comfortable with after watching much of the ACC this year. Duke is favored just on like the traditional spread by 17 or 18.5, depending on where you look. So I am teasing that down to 8.5, bringing it to a minus 520 bet. Has to be between minus 500 minus 1,000 for the ladder challenge. Assuming that Duke takes care of business. I'll take my $14.30 and turn it into $17.05. Blue Devils to win by at least 9 on the road at Syracuse.
Okay, I have the Edmonton Oilers taking on the Chicago Blackhawks tonight. Because, Blackhawks stink. They need all the help they can get. Give me the over total.
Okay.
Over 4.5 goals scored in this game. Combined score. Over 4.5 goals scored.
Now, hockey is your bread and butter, but this is different than what you normally your shots on goal, or you're taking a team on the puck line and teasing it way down to plus 2.5 or something like that.
Well, here's the thing. Plus 2.5 for Edmonton is minus 1,600. So I'm like, I could go 1.5, but that's still only an 825. Shots on goal in this one. I mean, I could tease down Connor McDavid. Actually, you know what? I'm taking this out. Give me Connor McDavid, 2+ shots on goal, right at straight minus 500. I'm making a change. I'm calling an audible here. Something Russell Wilson's not allowed to do, apparently.
Do you play cards?
No, I don't.
Okay. I was going to say, that's a little bit of card laid as a card played there. I don't know if we let you pick it back up.
Well, I haven't made the bet yet.
Okay.
So that's the thing. Minus 500 odds. Connor McDavid 2+ shots on goal. So that $14 will turn into $16.80.
You'd be closing the gap even further by an additional nickel. All right, we'll see.
I got to make up every little bit of ground I can.
We'll see how it goes. Duke minus 8.5 for me, and what was your? It was this,
McDavid.
then it was that, and then it was the other. So McDavid, is it 2 or more or over 2?
Just 2+.
Okay, so 2 or more. We'll see how it goes.
But you should do that. Chicago stinks.
Yeah, maybe he doesn't have to. Maybe he'll finish with like 5 assists and no shots.
You know what? Would not be the first time. I'm just going to say it would not be the first time.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan.
It's happened before.
We have about 2 minutes here to do Hit It and Quit It before we have to get to the Kevin McGeehan, Campbell head basketball coach interview. So fire it up. We'll run through these as quick as possible. There is a proposed Georgia bill in the state of Georgia, and some kind of legislator, that would make NIL payments to college athletes income tax free.
Yeah.
I just have one question. When that elected official that is proposing this drove into the office to submit that bill, did their license plate say, like, Go Dogs? Did it say UGA #1? Like, was the color of the car bright red? Because that's obviously a Georgia bill. Let's quit that. Let's hit this. We're going to roll through these.
What? All right. Speaking of people that driving into work today, people that drive into work, or believe it or not, are pro athletes as well. There was actually an article by The Athletic that came out. They do this once a year where they poll randomly a little over 100 players across the entire NHL. And they have different questions on what's your favorite building to play at, like favorite city to go visit, also the least favorite building you like to go to, coach you'd love to play for that's not currently your own, things along those lines. Canes were on the good and bad of both of those things. Coach you'd like to play for, not currently your own head coach, Rob Brindamore, third highest among players that were polled.
Not surprised.
Love it. A lot of glowing things to say.
Take that, Canes fans. There's a lot of criticism for Rod recently.
Yeah, he just only has the most wins over whatever. Anyway.
Yeah, but Jarvis is on the third line instead of the first, Dennis.
Yep, and he's still putting up 30+ goals.
Sarcasm. I hope you heard it in my voice.
But so you have that along with least favorite building to go play in. It's Carolina.
That's not like least accommodating. That's like best crowd, right?
Oh no, it's like least accommodating. They hate the facilities. They hate like all the workout stuff, the training, all that. Like teams hate visiting Carolina. On top of it's hard to play.
I was going to say, you see
them.
that spin zone? I was trying to turn it into a positive. Like, that just means the fans are loud.
Some of the players actually made that comment of like, hey, it's actually difficult to play in this building in and of itself because it's a hard team to play against. But then the locker room is tiny. The facilities for them, like for visiting teams, stink. They don't like it. So anyway, you know what? Take that, visiting teams.
All right,
home ice advantage.
We have other things that we're going to use for content later on, so we won't rip through them here. We may even revisit that athletic poll later on in the show. Didn't have enough time to sink our teeth in there, but we need time to sink our teeth into our conversation from earlier today with Kevin McGeehan, Campbell men's basketball head coach. He caught up with us on the phones earlier, and this is what it sounded like. The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan. Joining us on the Heister Automotive Group hotline right now, the head coach of the Campbell Camels men's basketball team, Kevin McGeehan, joining us now on the phone lines. Coach, thank you for taking the time. What's gotten into your team recently? 12-11 on the year, but 5-0 in your last 5 games. What's clicking?
Well, I think our guys are really just kind of starting to gel. Defensively, we've really kind of been pretty good all year, but I think we've taken it to another level in the last stretch here. And guys seem to be taking some pride in having that be our identity, and I think it's helped loosen up our offense a little bit. I think early in the year we were, just kind of not making shots as much, and it was affecting our, the basketball is a very complementary game, and sometimes your defense helps your offense, and other times your offense helps your defense. And I think right now defense is driving the train, but it's really helped us play better offensively.
And that had to culminate. Your team was on our dean's list, little like honor we give here on the show a few days ago, because you went up against one of the top teams, at least record-wise, in the CAA, William and Mary, and smoked them. It was like 41 points differential. I like more specifically, right? You just touched on kind of the overarching picture of why your team's playing better of late. In a game like that, is it like the reverse snowball? How do you end up beating one of the top record teams in your conference by 40?
Well, I mean, college basketball is a funny game. Sometimes you catch somebody on the right night, they had a guy or two out, and you just play really well, and everything kind of clicks. And sometimes that snowball is, when you're on the other side of it, you just hard to figure out how to push that thing up the hill, And I think we played really well. And I think our guys are poised and they understand that it's an everyday deal, and nothing's guaranteed in anything. Obviously, when you have, at the time they were tied for first place, and they're coming into your building, it's like, there's a sense of, let's play well, and what's at stake is kind of there right in front of you. And I thought our guys took to that really well, and played a really complete and mature game.
Now, and we're talking with Kevin McGeehan, the head coach of the Campbell men's basketball team. That game, I've played college sports, and I know when you're on the other side of it, right, the cliche is you burn the tape, you move on, you flush it. But when you are on the winning end, it's all about how do you build off of it, and you get another 20-point win against Hofstra on Saturday. How do you try to make it so that's not just a unique, they had things going against them game, and it becomes something that it lasts longer than that because it obviously was something positive?
Yeah, I think you just lean into your fundamentals, like the things that you value. We really value taking pride in guarding people and taking care of the basketball, making sure we're playing unselfish. And so if you're not focused just on results, but you're focused on your process and just trying to get better every day, we really try to approach it like each game we're just going in, okay, today we're trying to get to 1-0. 1-0 today. We're not worried about what happened in the past. We're not looking toward the future. Kind of a football mentality, We play 2-3 games a week, and they just have their 1-0 weeks. But that's kind of the mentality, is just like focus on the moment, focus on the immediate. And I think it's helped our guys kind of stay centered, leaning into our core foundational principles basketball-wise, and then really just having an in-the-moment mentality.
Kevin McGeehan, Campbell men's basketball coach, joining us here on the Heister Automotive Group hotline. Coach, what did early in the season a 32-point game at North Carolina in their building do for Colby Dugan's confidence and his ability and maybe his comfort as one of your top scorers?
Well, certainly he played a terrific game, and I really thought our team fed off of his aggression and his growing confidence. I think he had been playing well prior to that, but that was obviously a huge stage for him to play as well as he did. And, it's interesting how things go. He was actually had a great off season, and I was anticipating big things for him. He had a relatively minor, but an injury that kept him out before the season started, right before we were playing games. And so he was kind of like coming off the bench, and he was, working his way back and trying to get his rhythm. And he was kind of not as good as I thought he was going to be early. Then we had an injury to Taryn Frank, who was out for 6 weeks, and Colby was kind of forced to take on a larger role, and he kind of just took it and ran with it. And I think his confidence has just continued to grow. You can see how the game has sort of slowed down for him a little bit out there, and he's just, got a better understanding of how he can impact the game every time out. I think our team is certainly feeding off his play, but more his presence and his confidence out there.
Now, this is the part of college basketball that I'm sure is annoying, but I'm fascinated by how coaches are dealing with it. When you have young players put up a game like that, or you have the stretch that you're on right now, does the portal lurk? Like, do you hear like the dun-dun from Jaws music? Are you constantly thinking about that and what you have to do to keep players that are raising their value in your program?
Well, I mean, that's a tricky question, obviously. What I would say is, I'm focused on my team. We got a great bunch of guys that work hard, that are really into what we're doing right now. And I think there's value in having everybody together and in it together, and in this fight that we're experiencing right now. And that stuff will be stuff for the future, you know. We all know it's out there, but at the same time, you know, we've had many guys that have moved on to different places in the past, and you know, each individual is different. You know, it's like going to a high major and playing half the amount of time and getting a quarter of the amount of shots and producing a quarter of the amount of statistics. Is that what's best for the next individual? I can't answer that right now, but I know that we've seen it play out through our own program. I mean, you can go and look at others as well, guys you played against and things. And obviously there's amazing success stories that fall in there as well, but there's a heck of a lot of guys that are in the, you know, different role category, right? And so, you know, you only get one shot at this, you know, like college basketball is a really cool and unique experience, and you only kind of get one chance at it. So you kind of want to make sure you put yourself in the best possible positions. And, you know, knows when it's time to have some of those conversations. I'm very much a candid person. I try to be honest and truthful with my guys and try to guide them in making good, sound decisions. And hopefully that's valued. I think it is. You know, and I think that relationship and those kind of real conversations about what's best hopefully can help them make a decision that puts us in the best possible position as well. I mean, I think that Campbell's a very special place and a unique place that, you know, right now we're in a really good spot. And, you know, let's enjoy that first and foremost.
And you're right, it is a tricky question, but like I said, I'm just fascinated from the outside, so I appreciate you for you know, thoughtfully answering that one. But let's get back to the 1-0 mentality you were talking about. Elon, tomorrow, what do you have in store for your in-state CAA rival?
Well, they're a really good team. You know, we were at their place a couple weeks back, probably 3 weeks ago, and I thought we didn't play our best. I think our team knows we didn't play our best. It had something to do with Elon, had something to do with us. And so I think we have something to prove here, because we just know we can play better. And that may not result in a win, but I think that if we play our best and put our best foot forward, we put ourselves in a pretty good position. They're very, very big, probably I think the biggest team in the country. And that's, you know, they go 7'4", 6'9", or 10, and then their guards are big, like 6'7", 6'5", 6'5". So there's size everywhere, and their big, you know, advantage is that they rebound the ball at an incredibly high rate, especially on the offensive glass. So that's a huge key in this game. They're a little bit unique in that they play a fair amount of zone. Obviously, the size, it makes sense to do that. And so the rhythm of the game likely feels a little different when you get a decent amount of zone in the game, just because it's more, you know, you got to move the ball in different ways. You know, we're very, very much on offense, a team that values movement and ball movement and player movement, but certainly against the zone, it's going to feel a little different. So, you know, we've got some, you know, things that we've been working on, and you know, but I think defensively we weren't nearly as good as we can be in that game, and I think since then we've progressed quite a bit. So I'm just excited to play. You know, when I got up, get in the office in the morning, I'm thinking, when can we get to practice? When can we get all these guys together? Because that's how it's feeling right now. Everybody's kind of feeling the same way, and you know, not every season's like that. You know, sometimes you're like, you know, a little bit of, you know, not quite as excited, you know. And I think right now there's a lot of excitement around what's happening.
Coach, we appreciate you for taking the time. I've been a little coy with my background. I'm a Delaware guy. That's where I went. And I kind of consider myself, we're part of the old guard of the CAA, but we're on the way out. So we're looking for someone to pass the ownership of the conference to. I'm hoping y'all can do that. So go ahead and roll humps.
Let me ask you this: are you an Eagles fan?
I'm not. I'm not an Eagles fan. Are you? Well,
I grew up in Philadelphia, so yes, go Birds.
In that case, can you give us how do you see this one going? If you're gonna throw out that you're an Eagles fan, it's a big game. What do you see for this one?
Well, I mean, I think you can't ever underestimate the Chiefs. They're really, really good. They've won at a high level. I think I saw something where in the last 18 playoff games, they haven't allowed a 100-yard rusher. We obviously have a strength with our run game. I think our lines are really, really strong. But Andy Reid and those guys are terrific, and obviously Mahomes. So it should be a heck of a game. I'm looking forward to it. Mm-hmm. I'm looking most forward to Thursday night, but then after that, I'll shift gears and I'll get into Eagle mode. I think we can win the game. I don't have any doubt in my mind. I think we're playing really good football, and I think that the fact that we lost to them 2 years ago and played a pretty good game but came up short, I think that's going to motivate the guys a bit. And I love the way Jalen Hurts approaches everything. He's so even, so centered, and I think that gives confidence and poise to the rest of the team. And really, he's just all about winning. So let's hope he gets that one done on Sunday for us.
Well,
who do you root for?
It's hard. I mean, with what I cover, I'm a Panthers guy right now. Professionally, that's where I'm at. Throughout time, I've lived all over the place. But I will say, going to Delaware, I know a lot of Eagles fans. You just proved your bona fides. That was spoken, just like I was talking to one of my guys that follow the team. So good luck, right? Good luck on Thursday. Good luck with your squad on Sunday. And thank you again for taking the time to jump on the show.
Thanks so much. Good talking to you.
Once again, that is the head coach of the Camels men's basketball team on a 5-game winning streak, Kevin McGeehan. They have the in-state tilt against Elon tomorrow.
Former Big South Coach of the Year, 2019.
Correct. Longtime assistant at Richmond, so he knows, now that he's in the CAA, he knows the CAA pretty well. Here's the rub on this one, okay?
Okay.
After hearing that he's from Philly, he reminds me of all of my buddies from Philly. It's one of those things where it's like, oh, now that you say it, of course. I should have been able to see that. He's a Philly guy, and that's so he probably will be, wearing his green saying "Go Birds" on Sunday.
He should be locked in.
Yeah. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We have much more to get to. It's a mock draft Wednesday, but first, here's our very own Dennis Cox.
Folks, it's back. What's back? Well, it's your opportunity to win a custom-built motorcycle. Dennis Cox here for my friends over at Law Tigers. That's right, a custom-built motorcycle, folks, because the Law Tigers, Tobacco Road Harley-Davidson, Shiny Side Paint, and your Carolina Hurricanes, they're all teaming up together once again to give one lucky fan a custom Caniacs motorcycle. Simple to win, folks. Go to caniacsbike.com. That's where you enter for your chance to win this custom beauty of a bike. Again, custom-built right here in Raleigh, Tobacco Road Harley-Davidson. They put in good work. I know. I bought my bike from Tobacco Road Harley-Davidson. Shiny Side Paint, Ashley did a phenomenal job. If you go to caniacsbike.com, you'll see pictures of the bike. Cane's colors, logos, decked out decals, the whole bit. Absolutely gorgeous bike. Go to caniacsbike.com. Deadline to enter is April 6th. Bike is going to be given away on the ice at the last home game of the season. That's got to be cool. Going right there in the middle of the ice, boom. This bike, it's yours. Got to enter to win, though. Go to caniacsbike.com. Law Tigers is a network of independent law firms who are members of the American Association of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Law Tigers is not a law firm.
Mock Draft Wednesday. If Myles Garrett is available, he's requested a trade. The reigning Defensive Player of the Year. Should the Panthers offer up that 8th overall pick? Stick around to find out.
Move your sports day forward.
They felt that they couldn't get there with Marty Necas and Jack Drury. That's what a trade is. It wasn't going to work with those two guys. But perhaps with Mikko Rantanen and Taylor Hall, it does work. And maybe that window just got a little bit bigger. Time will tell. Time will tell. That is the biggest elephant in the room. This is a new era of Carolina Hurricanes hockey.
Get set up. Join Next Up with Paul Ihander. Mornings at 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
John Porcelain here for my friends at Buffalo Brothers. You know the big game is right around the corner, and it's time to start thinking about big game parties. Don't be that guy that doesn't get the best wings in town. So order your wings today from Buffalo Brothers. Come and get Buffalo Brothers Big Game Special. 2 large pizzas and 20 wings for just $50. That's food for the whole family at more than 20% off. But remember, order today as pickup times fill up fast. Buffalo Brothers. Aw, man, now I want wings.
I'm at the movies, asking people if they'll switch seats with me for $574.
Here, take mine.
So what about $574 if you switch your home insurance to Allstate?
Too much work.
Not if you call them. They handle the switching.
Now, that's a plot twist.
Shh. Check Allstate first, and you could save hundreds on quality home insurance today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Not available in every state. Based on the national average annual savings for new home insurance customers surveyed in 2023 who switched to Allstate and reported savings. Savings vary.
Hey, John, why so glum?
I just got let go. The company's downsizing. This is the 3rd time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. mycomputercareer.edu. Financial aid is available for qualified students, including the GI Bill.
What could you do with an extra $75,000 right now, or even a couple $100,000? If you own a home, you can get that money in less than a week with Loan Pronto. Hey, it's Dennis Cox. Loan Pronto is the leader in quickly converting your home equity into cold, hard cash. You can pay off all your credit cards or start that home remodel. Loan Pronto has several easy options to let you access the cash from your home. There's virtually no paperwork, no cumbersome process, no junk fees, and often no appraisal. Listen, the average homeowner now has over $300,000 in equity. That's your money. Use it. One client got $150,000 out and paid off all their credit cards, 2 car loans, and a personal loan, cutting their monthly expenses by $1,500. You can get approved in as little as 1 day. So act now with no hard credit pull up front. LoanPronto.com, 919-381-1760. Get the money you need for anything. 919-381-1760, LoanPronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Wilson, he's going to get sacked back at the 38-yard line. Myles Garrett.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. So it's a mock draft Wednesday every Wednesday until the NFL draft. We look at something mock draft related, right? See what the Panthers should be thinking, doing, evaluating, other than everything, between now and that April day. One of the questions that I think you should ask is there a way to use a pick, which is essentially a lottery ticket, right? You don't will a player pan out or not? You just don't know. To exchange for a sure thing. I think that's actually one of the more underrated ways to build a team in the NFL. When you're like, we could draft this guy, and if we surround him with great coaching and teammates, and we nurture him perfectly, then in the future, he could be as good as player A. And you just don't realize that you could take the draft pick that you used to take the project and trade him for player A and get him right away. But there's one specific caveat there. You have to have the cash to pay player A. So, should the Panthers trade the 8th overall pick? I'm sure we'll ask some version of that question a bunch of times between now and the draft, because the 8th overall pick has value, and other teams will be interested, and they'll fall in love with guys, and they'll watch the combine, and they'll go, oh my gosh, that guy is fast. And if they want to overpay for it, you have to consider it. The question of the day is, due to a trade demand or request that happened a couple days ago, Myles Garrett, reigning Defensive Player of the Year. Should you center a deal, a package that you could offer around the 8th overall pick? Tom Pelissero, NFL Network, on with Rich Eisen, was asked what it would cost to trade for Myles Garrett.
You're talking about a 29-year-old all-pro pass rusher, reigning Defensive Player of the Year, who is still very much in his prime. You can't. This isn't the NBA. I'm watching all the action over there. You can't trade like your first round pick 10 years from now. In the NFL, you can only go out 3 years. So is it 3 first-round picks? Is it 2 first-round picks and something else? It would be a significant value because you would have such a competition in terms of driving the compensation.
Few things. One, if the Browns want to be the Mavericks looking at the NBA, make sure you're there. Make sure you're at least there to drive up the price for someone else to get him. That's why I love when Eric Tulsky of the Canes, their GM, says he's in every conversation. Just be aware of what the price is to make sure nothing Luka Doncic is going on. And also, to build off of what Tom Pelissero was saying there, not every first-round pick is the same. I think you look at the Khalil Mack trade from a handful of years ago. That's kind of where you start for Myles Garrett compensation. I think he's a little better than Myles Garrett. He's also than Khalil Mack. He's also a little older than Khalil Mack. So that was 2 firsts. But they were random firsts, right? They were traded right before the season. You didn't know how they were going to settle. Could be the 32nd pick, could be the first pick, anywhere in between. If the Panthers are using their 8th, I don't think it's 2 firsts. I think it's a mid-rounder and a first because the 8th is more valuable than a random. Now that we've set the stage, here's my official response to should the Panthers trade their 8th overall pick plus for Myles Garrett. Heck no. No. And here's the reason. The Panthers can't combine solutions to solve one problem. If you use the 8th overall pick, to solve edge rusher, which is a problem. Like, there's a hole in the roster. You need pressure on the quarterback. If you use the 8th overall pick to solve edge rusher, the money you have to spend under the salary cap has to be used to solve something else. Wide receiver, corner, safety, linebacker, interior defense. You have issues. So trading for Myles Garrett, the money, becomes you use the 8th overall pick to get Myles Garrett. You use the money under the cap to pay Myles Garrett. You just use the 2 largest tools you have to solve problems on the same solution. If you use the pick to solve edge rusher, the money has to solve something else. That's why I've been so adamant that you can draft a receiver and pay an edge rusher, or draft an edge rusher and pay a receiver. That's kind of the way I look at it. The other thing is this. I'm big on how they found you is how they'll leave you. Right? That's like relationship advice. If somebody is cheating on their partner with you, don't be surprised if after you're dating for a while, they start cheating on you with someone else. Like, how they found you is how they'll leave you. Myles Garrett is upset that the Browns aren't contenders, and that's why he wants out. Be honest with yourself. Will there be a point in time in the next 3 or 4 years where it doesn't appear as if the Panthers are Super Bowl contenders? Mm-hmm. And if you get there, will he be asking/demanding for a trade again? Thus, you just traded and paid a headache.
Yeah.
Right? Like, how they found you is how they'll leave you. Cleveland is not super stoked with Myles Garrett right now because they weren't able to hold up their end of the bargain. If a team that is more consistently competing wants to trade for Myles Garrett, that makes more sense because they're like, oh, if he wants to play for a contender, we'll be that. The Panthers hope to be that in the relatively near future, but it's not like it's going to switch and they're going to be in the conference championship in 3 of the next 5 years or anything like that. It's an unrealistic glow up. And then here's the other reason why I don't think you trade for Myles Garrett. It's a really good edge rusher draft. It's a really good, I'll expand it, defensive lineman draft because guys like Mason Graham from Michigan are in the interior and he's really good. So I talk about tanking is all about timing. Okay, what I mean by that is when I see a team seemingly intentionally lose to get the 1st or 2nd overall pick, my ideal of that is they read the writing on the wall and they said, all right, sometime in the next 2 years, we're going to crater, right? The contracts that are coming due, the cap space that we have, the players that aren't living up to what we thought within the next 3 years, who knows when, we're going to bottom out. Let's choose when we bottom out. Because, if you need a quarterback, and you bottomed out this year, you're like, darn it, right? Last year you could have had Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, Drake May, Bo Nix. You could have so many of these guys, but you bottomed out the wrong year. So when I say like you're going to tank, it's you acknowledging at some point we're going to be one of the worst teams in the league. If we can choose when, let's pick a draft when there's a guy we want to go get. If you need edge rusher, this is a good year to have a top 10 pick. If this were a year where you needed edge rusher and it was a bad year to have a top 10 pick, there just weren't guys worthy of it, that's when you go trade for Myles Garrett with your top pick. Because somebody else needs a corner, or someone else needs a offensive lineman, and they'll give you Myles Garrett or some other edge rusher for the top pick.
Yeah, I would much rather, if I'm going to trade for an edge rusher in this draft, I'd much rather just use that draft capital and go get Abdul Carter, and it's a lot cheaper.
Abdul Carter, Mason Graham, who I mentioned, either of the Georgia guys could be there at 8. You won't even have to give anything up. Walker or Williams.
Heck, Mikael Williams could be at like 12.
If you want to get real fancy, if you want Dan Morgan to flex a little bit.
Let's go. Get real fancy.
Move back James Pierce Jr. Move back Mike Green. James Pierce Jr. from Tennessee. He's actually a guy from
Charlotte.
Yeah, there you go. Mike Green looks like an athletic specimen out of Marshall. Just lightning quick, big, gets to the quarterback. Go Google some of his reps at practice at the Senior Bowl. Like, if you can move back, acquire picks, acquire players, and still end up with one of those guys, now you're talking about doing the opposite of taking, multiple tools to solve problems and putting them all towards one. You're taking one tool, that 8th overall pick, and using it to solve multiple problems by bringing in a guy like James Pierce Jr. or Mike Green, and also then having another pick to throw at a safety, another pick to throw at whoever, a running back, if you don't think that Brooks will be back in time for this year and you need someone to spell Chuba and you don't trust Miles Sanders. It's a super deep running back draft. You can get one 4th, 5th round.
Yeah, some good ones too.
So you move back in the first part of that package is a 4th rounder. All of a sudden you're walking out with like Dylan Sampson from Tennessee, who had 22 touchdowns in the SEC last year and isn't projected to be like a top 5 guy drafted in this draft.
I think Dan Morgan wants to trade back.
Now that we've established your motive, you got to make it happen, right? You got to go create a market for what you're selling. You got to go get a bidding war. You got to get the best deal possible. You got to be a GM. And by the way, I think he handled the draft okay last year. It was his first one. He'll get better.
Like, overall, pretty good.
Pretty good. I don't love some of the moves, moving up to get a running back, moving up into to get Xavier Legette. Could have waited for maybe like a Ladd McConkey. It wasn't perfect. He'll get better. It was his first one. I'm excited to see. That's, beginning of February, every Wednesday we're already doing mock drafts. I'm excited to see what he's going to do in April. I think that shows it. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. I hope before then he doesn't get antsy and trade for Myles Garrett. Just because, as fun as it would be to have him on the defense, you need more. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It also maybe not the most fun time to be looking for a mortgage, right? Rates, they're too high. I don't want a mortgage. Well, guess what? They might go up. They also might come down. It's volatile. I don't pretend to be able to predict it. Tim Donnelly here for Miller Lending. And Gordon Miller and Miller Lending, they obviously are experts. Gordon Miller's been in the mortgage business for decades and decades, going back to the 80s. So they have experience. They're better at predicting it than I would be. But they also acknowledge, no matter how much you know, a volatile market is a volatile market. The best thing you can do is be flexible so the timing doesn't get you either way. A no closing cost loan allows you to be that kind of flexible. You lock in your rate now. Again, no closing cost loan, so you're not taking a bunch of money out of your pocket to pay costs and fees. And if rates go up next week, well, perfect. You locked in your rate already on that no closing cost loan. If rates go down next week, refinance. Do it again with no costs and fees, nothing out of your pocket. That's why it's called a no closing cost loan, and that's why you don't mind doing it over and over and over and over again, just getting that monthly payment down because it's not costing you costs and fees every single time. If you're interested, and you should be, give Miller Lending a call at 919-447-3377. That's 919-447-3377, or you can visit them online at millerlending.com. That's millerlending.com. Miller Lending is an equal housing lender, NMLS number 2502146. Coming up next here on The Drive, we have the starting five, including an ACC basketball wasteland. Stick around.
From 32 to 2, Kansas City.
The Chiefs have won again. They have beaten the Buffalo Bills 32-29.
Philadelphia.
20, 15, 10, touchdown, Saquon Barkley.
Join 99.9 The Fan on Super Bowl Sunday, February 9th. Super Bowl Sunday on 99.9 The Fan is presented by First Horizon Bank and Wake Men. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports leader.
Bonuses used to be everywhere. Boxes of cereal, a baker's dozen, airline upgrades, even without quadruple diamond platinum status. Life is better with the bonus. That's why the North Carolina Education Lottery is adding bonus chances to multiply your win on Multiply the Cash scratch-offs. More chances than ever to win over $140 million in total prizes. Because everything is better with a bonus. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning range from 1 in 3.31 to 4.86. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
It's bow time.
A leg and thigh dinner from Bojangles for just $5.99.
Leg and thigh dinner from Bojangles for just $5.99.
So crispy.
So crispy.
And juicy.
And juicy.
So much flavor.
So much.
Stop it. What are you doing?
What? You expect me to get this delicious deal and not say anything?
You're unbelievable.
You're unbelievable.
With a boldly seasoned leg and thigh, choice of fixin', a biscuit, and legendary iced tea, it's a deal so good it's worth repeating. So eat and repeat while it lasts. It's bow time.
It's bow time. Dine in, drive through, or tap your favorite delivery app and have Bojangles come to you. Satisfy your craving for flavor right now with Bojangles 2-piece dinner. 2 pieces of Bojangles dark meat chicken, your choice of fixin', a biscuit, and iced tea for just $5.99. That's right, just $5.99 for limited time at participating Bojangles. What are you waiting for? When you're hungry, it's always bow time.
Tim Donnelly here for Zero Res. February is the month for love, and everybody's going to be getting down and dirty. Well, if you had to get down and dirty on your carpets and floors, would you be afraid of what you might see or smell? Not only is your carpet one of the biggest investments in your home, it's also the biggest air filter in your home. Get your house Zero Resified and get all those scary smells far away from where you should be having a wonderful month of love. 3 rooms of carpets cleaned starting at $109 and $100 off air duct cleaning this month from Zero Res. It's going on until February 28th, so visit zerores.com or call 919-995-0000. That's zeroresraleigh.com or 919-995-0000. Zero Res. Spell it backwards or forwards, it spells the same.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, injury lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it. Go to ritchielaw.com.
That's ritchielaw.com.
WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. Take us with you on the radio, Instagram, TikTok, Alexa, and YouTube. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm WRAL meteorologist Mike Mays. From 80 yesterday to temperatures in the 40s this afternoon. We even have some spotted light rain and drizzle that'll continue off and on through the night. 40 the low. Morning clouds, afternoon sunshine for your Thursday with a high at 68.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 5 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones at the closing bell, up 317 points today to 44,873.
It's 5 o'clock. Time to serve up the biggest sports stories of the day. Here comes your starting 5.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. When are we giving away the Jarvie signed puck? As I asked Dennis live on air.
I mean, look at the details on the YouTube
There
video.
you go. Basically, the reason I ask is we are celebrating 15,000 subscribers on our YouTube channel, 99.9 The Fan. We hit 15,000 earlier this week. Something we've been eyeing for a while. It was a goal of ours. And to celebrate, we are giving away a Seth Jarvis signed puck, one of the fan favorites and core members of the Carolina Hurricanes. If you want to win the puck, I believe you can still head to our YouTube now, 99.9 The Fan. There is a featured video there with all the explanation of how we're giving it away with details in the description. But you do have to be subscribed in order to be entered to win. So you do it if you are not one of the 15,000 plus that have already subscribed. Please do so, and you might win a Seth Jarvis signed puck.
Contest will end Sunday, Sunday 04/14. So I actually have a little bit of time here.
There you go.
Sunday, April 14th, it actually will look like. So get a little bit of time here.
But don't use the time. Get there now, subscribe, and start taking in the content. We put a lot of work into the videos and the podcasts and rebroadcasts of this show, live streams of this show, the Adam Gold Show, and much, much more. Shorts and everything else on the YouTube, 99.9 The Fan. Subscribe while you're there, and watch the featured video to make sure you know that you are eligible and entered to win a Seth Jarvis signed puck to celebrate 15,000 YouTube subscribers. With that being said, it's time for the starting five, starting with number 5.
Count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
1-point game, drifts to the right at 5. Right wing now drives, pulls up for a 15-footer. It's short. Rebound, no good. NC State wins the game on a pinball defensive stop.
What was that, 7 games ago for NC State?
A month.
Yeah, that was the last time they won a game. And this number 5 is not about NC State entirely. It's about the ACC men's basketball as a whole. I think we're going to learn, and I hate. Like, what's the Taylor Swift song? Hate. I hate what I'm about to say. I think we might learn how valuable the ACC men's basketball name, just the rep, really is. I'm not sure there are going to be 4 deserving teams of the NCAA tournament. So we're going to see, like, what's the minimum the committee will put in. Because at a certain point, they're going to go, like, we can't have an NCAA tournament with 2 ACC teams, right? There's going to be a number that they're just like, all right, if you're the 3rd, if you're the 4th best team in the ACC, you get in, and we'll figure out a way to explain it with analytics when they ask. We're going to see how much that name is worth, because right now, I think you could, I mean, if you even look at the most recent bracketology, which is Joe Lenardi, bracketologist, ESPN, he updates it every week. Duke in, obviously, they're A1 seed. Clemson was in, Louisville was in, those comfortably. On the bubble, there was Pittsburgh, part of the last 4 in. First 4 out had no ACC. Next 4 out was almost all ACC. So, yeah, numbers 5, 6, and 7 out, not in the tournament, were Wake Forest, SMU, and North Carolina. Since then, the ACC has cannibalized itself a little bit, with Georgia Tech beating both Clemson and Louisville, which is going to nudge them from comfortably in closer to the bubble. That's not what you want to see or hear or even be aware of if you are an ACC fan. On top of that, there was one more. Oh, right. Earlier this week, Pitt lost by 16 at home to Virginia. So they're going to be nudging down on the bubble as well. There are some games tonight. Wake at Stanford, SMU at Virginia Tech, Louisville at Boston College, that are suddenly wildly important. Louisville cannot lose to Boston College. SMU cannot lose to Virginia Tech. And I don't care about, like, I'm not a fan of any of these. They cannot lose. Because if they do, you're starting to get to the point where not only are you off the bubble, out of the bubble, moving down the bubble, but it becomes very difficult for you to make up any ground, because the worse every ACC team is, the worse every win against an ACC opponent is, and it's just it's then a very difficult quicksand for you to get out of. It's I don't know whatever the panic alarm is, I'm sounding it. I'm worried about the ACC this season. And it has to be a conscious decision by the big brands to put the money, to to put the personnel, to put the coaching staffs, the front offices together to make sure this doesn't happen again. And when I say big brands, I'm talking ACC basketball brands. All three here in the Triangle, Duke, UNC, NC State, talking Virginia, talking Louisville, talking Syracuse, talking Florida State, Miami. These schools, I'm sure I'm leaving some out. Wake, you have to put the money where your basketball team is, or else the ACC is in a lot of trouble moving forward. A lot of trouble moving forward. That was number 5 here. It's such a sad number 5. I feel like
I know. Like, are you okay? Like,
I'm not okay.
You're not?
I need the ACC. It's like seeing. Actually, I remember when this like era of sports happened, when like the Jeters, the Kobe Bryants, the Peyton Mannings all started retiring around the same time, and for people of my generation, I'm in my mid-30s, it was like no, you're the Invincibles. What is going on here? Especially because, like, all the way to the end, they still had that it factor, right? Kobe's 60 at the end, Peyton Manning walking off with a Super Bowl, Jeter hitting walk-off winners at the end. It's like, yes, you still have the it. No, you're just not going to play anymore? And then they just didn't. And I'm the ACC my entire life. It's like, oh, yeah, Big East, they kind of went away, and then they came back and they went away. Well, that's weird. They make a documentary about that. Pac-12 kind of disappears entirely. I'm like, all right, we're good here. The ACC will never go anywhere. Well, I still don't think they're going to go anywhere, but they're definitely in danger of being a lesser tier than they've been my entire life.
Something to make you happy real quick, though?
I'd love to hear that.
You mentioned Seth Jarvis signed puck.
Yep.
I have the exact date.
Okay, perfect.
You have until 11:59 p.m. tonight.
Oh.
Eastern time. Get it done, folks. If you don't win that Seth Jarvis signed puck, sign up for our YouTube page. Go check out that video. Follow the instructions. And make sure I get that right for the people out there.
Put some urgency on that. You have till basically midnight tonight. 99.9 The Fan. Read the description on the featured video there, and you might walk away with a Seth Jarvis signed puck. So are we giving it away tomorrow?
Maybe. I don't know. But the time to enter, tonight, 11:59.
All right. That's number 5. I'll remind you of that again later on in the show. That's number 5. Let's get to number 4.
1, 2, 3, 4, all together.
Second and goal. Heavy personnel to the left side. He'll toss it that way to Hampton, and he is in. Touchdown, Carolina.
Today, National Signing Day. It's doesn't have the same weight it used to have because there's early signing day. So most programs had, I would say at least 70-75% of their recruiting class already kind of spoken for. And then the transfer portal opening, so you have a bunch of new players coming in that way. But today is kind of the last big day for high schoolers to sign and commit to go play college football around the country. Let's break down how some teams in the ACC and in our area did. Coming in number 45, North Carolina. They had a good day. They flipped a couple guys. They bumped up from 48 at the beginning of the day to 45. I think they're just setting the structure for next season and beyond to be a better recruiting school. New is tough, especially, recruiting starts earlier and earlier. You got to start popping up at their high school basketball games as juniors and everything else. So there's relationships in with most of these recruits for other classes, and UNC kind of got there late with the Bill Belichick squad. NC State one spot above, 44. So if there's trash talk there, you're 44, UNC 45. Go ahead and argue. Stanford above both of them in 43. Virginia Tech above all of them at 41. As we continue moseying on up, Clemson number 37. They're taking transfers now too.
Yeah, they're taking transfers, so good on them.
If you look at, I saw some way too early All-American teams.
Oh, okay.
Clemson, people are high on Clemson. I'm going I know they won the ACC and they got the auto bid and everything and made it to the CFP where they lost. I don't know if I'm ready to just pencil them in for 6 of the best players at their position in the country, but that's what some are doing. Syracuse above all of them, 36. Fran Brown, recruiting wizard up there. Duke above everyone mentioned at 35. Shout out to Manny Diaz. As we continue moseying on up, I believe there's one SMU at 30. I forgot about them. I don't even usually count them. I'm still not used to seeing them and going, there's an ACC school. SMU reportedly has money, so that makes sense. Florida State 26. I wish they weren't ACC, but you got to do what you got to do. Miami, I think, is up here. And once I update you on where Miami is, Georgia Tech 19.
Let's go. Let's go, Georgia Tech.
Wow. I guess being in Georgia and potentially having that bill from earlier where you can pay NIL income tax-free. Not passed yet, but who knows? Might be selling them on it in the future. Notre Dame, there you go. Miami's in 13th best recruiting class. Speaking of, the ACC needs to get it together. When your best recruiting class is 13th, you better be able to coach them up and develop them better than the SEC and the Big Ten because, at least recruiting ranking-wise, you're not up there. That's number 4. Let's get to number 3.
Refeeds Taylor high left, pump fake, slices in 2 pounds, bodies into the lane, layups up and in, and the foul. Taylor slithers to the basket and scores.
NC State late night tonight against Cal. 11 p.m. Eastern time opening tip. What is this, a Canes game? 11 p.m. opening tip?
That's even late for a Canes game.
That's true.
That's super late.
That's what we're doing here at 11. This is why
Take your nap, folks.
This is why you brought in Cal and Stanford, so you could own the 11 to 1:30 a.m. time slot. If you're an NC State fan and you're reaching for reasons to be optimistic, which I get, I've been there. When you're a fan of a team and things aren't going well, you're like, just give me something. I have 2 for you. 1, a 2-game road trip. California, right? They play Cal and then Stanford. I like a road trip to bring your team together. As a player in college, I always thought we weren't really like a cohesive unit until we went on the road the first time, right? The hotel, the travel, it's us against the world. You're in someone else's arena. Being out there in California can help. I mean, I also believe they're probably in a bit of like a get me the heck away from all the talk about how bad we're playing. Right? In the East Coast, everybody's talking about it. West Coast, they're like, who is this team? Are they good? I don't know. Reset the batteries a little bit. And Cal is likely without their leading scorer, Andrei Stojakovic, Peja's son. So might be catching them at a good time. 2, there's another reason to be optimistic. Mike James hasn't played all year. Now, that's not optimistic, but you got an ACC 12-point-per-game scorer at Louisville last year. Hasn't played all year. Who knows if he will? But it's obvious the roster doesn't fit. And if you, instead of just saying, like, our coaches don't know how to put together a roster, you can talk yourself into Kevin Keats and the coaching staff knew what they were doing, knew what they were building, knew what they wanted, but Mike James was a key player that they couldn't afford to miss out on, and now that he's hurt, it's like, well, there's the reason. Right? You got a problem? Yeah. Do you know the problem? Do you know how to fix it? Yeah. Well, you don't got a problem. You just got a chore. Like next year, you got to make sure the guy is healthy. If that helps you at all, feel free to use that to boost your morale. If you want a rebuttal to bring you back down, Cal and Stanford are actually really good playing against East Coast teams that travel out to see them in California. So maybe that road trip that I talked about binding you together might beat you up a little bit. And number 2, Mike James, he wasn't a leading scorer creator for Louisville last year. Ironically, he didn't score as much per game as Brandon Huntley-Hatfield, who has been playing for you out of the transfer portal. And Sky Clark for Louisville was a better setup guy, assist guy, and scored nearly as many points. So, the thing I think State's missing this year is that kind of creative offensive force. I'm not sure that's Mike James. Well, you can talk yourself into it if you want to. And if you're going to stay up for the game, catch that nap.
Get that nap, get that coffee.
Yeah, a little bit of caffeine late night. See how it goes.
And you know what? When you're approaching halftime of the game, if you forgot to text the key word on our YouTube for 15,000, watch the video when it's Jarvie signed puck, you have till 11:59 p.m. Eastern tonight, folks. You can do that while you're watching the game.
First media timeout.
Yeah, right.
First
halftime.
First commercial. Go ahead and make sure that's your final reminder. That's number 3. Let's jump to number 2.
Just the 2 of us. 3 on 2. It's Cooper to the rack. Put it up. Count it in a foul. It's an avalanche, and it's 17-6.
Duke is at Syracuse tonight. At Syracuse. 18.5-point favorite when I checked earlier today. It is the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6th time in conference Duke has been at least an 18.5-point favorite. That's why I set up side quests for Duke, right? For State, for UNC, for Wake, for Pitt, for Louisville, for Clemson, for all these other ACC teams, I'm looking at them and saying, just please win. For Duke, I'm setting up side quests. It's like win and, right? That's what I've been calling it. Win and, win and, win and. It was difficult to even find a win and against Syracuse. Why? Because I looked through the stats, and I mostly just use ACC rankings because we don't, I assume, watch enough of every single conference to know, like, what, hey, we're 74th in the country in steals. Like, what does that mean? Who are we better than? We're right between Fresno State and Yale. And it's like, well, are they any good? I have no clue.
Great company.
So looking at just the ACC, teams that we're kind of comfortable with, that we know, Syracuse is near the bottom in everything. Near the bottom in everything. Rebounding, turnover margin, scoring, percentages, shooting percentage, three-point percentage. They're near the bottom in everything. So that's how you end up, an 18.5-point dog. When you go into that game, I think the win and for Duke, and I said this earlier, is win and test out your killer instinct, right? When you have the opportunity to slam the door, slam the door. What is, if there's one criticism of the Duke dominating win over UNC over the weekend, what is it? Well, you didn't really slam the door. You didn't run through the line, right? Like the sprinters, they always say, if you're on a 100-meter dash, run like you're running a 110-meter dash because your body just kind of gives up when you think you're at the line, so run right on through it. Duke didn't do that, right? They let UNC close with the run. No harm, no foul, right? You still won by 17, but UNC ended with a flurry. Don't do that this time. If you find yourself up by 20, win by 30. If you find yourself up by 30, win by 40. If you find yourself maybe getting your starters out and letting some of your bench players get in there, have your bench players extend the lead. Practice, this is going to sound ridiculous, practice your dominance. Practice slamming the door, stepping on the throat, taking their will. Huh? What number is that? 2? Let's get to number 1.
After the coach's challenges, it was determined that there was goaltender interference. No.
Canes lost to Winnipeg last night. Now, it's been, every time we talk college sports, what do we talk? Good wins, good losses. If there was a committee deciding this, it's a 3-0 shutout loss, but Winnipeg's the best in the league at goals per game scored and best at the league at fewest goals allowed per game. They're number 1 in the standings, both in their division, the Western Conference, and the league as a whole. So you might call it a not awful loss. Here's the part that I'm concerned with. And it's not even a concern. It's an observation. And I need somebody who's better at social media. Maybe I'll talk to our social media manager here to let me know. Because I sarcastically, earlier today, said out loud some of the complaints I've been hearing about the way Rod Brindamore has been managing the roster, right? Like, why is Seth Jarvis on the third line? Why is he not skating with Aho and Rantanen? I see it on Twitter all the time. Why isn't Rantanen skating 25 minutes? Why is Jackson Blake getting all of this? And why? And I see it all on Twitter, and I said them out loud, and I don't know if that is, how you like your phone's always listening, right? You start coughing a lot, and then all of a sudden all your ads are for cough medicine. You say out loud, like, oh, I've been needing a new computer, and all of a sudden every, promoted post is, like, new computer. Here you go. It's since we had the conversation about the Canes earlier today, it does seem like every time I refresh my feed, there is another complaint about Rod Brindamore.
Yeah, it's in our comment section too on our YouTube page.
Okay, then it's
video.
real. Then it is not just the big brother listening and sending every complaint to me, so it's real there. Let's have that conversation. Stop. And I'm not just like blindly following Rod Brindamore. I'm blindly giving coaches a pass when their roster is shaken up in a major way in the middle of a season, and then it is immediately followed by a shuffling due to illness and injury that is constant for 3 or 4 or 5 games. You want to talk about ice time? And by the way, I even asked it myself. After last night, I brought the conversation up. We had it earlier. I'm sure you can find it on our going back on our YouTube, whatever. I asked, is Mikko Rantanen not skating enough? And we talked it out. And that is one thing, okay, to say like, hey, last night would you have rather seen X, Y, and Z? It's a whole other to say, the problem is Rod Brindamore. The problem isn't the roster. Because the one thing that occasionally I complain just because I'm nitpicking, he does too much, is he's going to experiment, right? He will move lines. He is not beholden to any deal. He has his system, don't get me wrong. But if you're worried, why is Jackson Blake skating with so-and-so, if that's not the best way, he'll find it. And to get into the Rod side of it, I mean, you don't want to get in an argument talking resumes. Fastest towards this many wins, win percentage, all these things, the not to mention the contracts. Do you remember the team that he took over?
Yeah.
Like think about how you got where you are right now as a franchise, and then on top of that, acknowledge, yes, he has not won the cup yet. And that is as frustrating for me as it is anybody. And I yell and scream about, this group, the last thing they need to do is get the cup, and every decision they make should be about winning the cup and all of those things. But you also, you have to acknowledge when you're being an unrealistic fan and when you're being somebody speaking with fact.
It's amazing how people are reacting to two losses like it's a 7-game losing streak. They were 6-0-1 in the previous 7 games before playing two of the best teams from the West, the Kings and the Jets. You've got guys sick, coming back from injury and all kinds of different stuff. You're skating with 7 defensemen as opposed to just the normal 6. It's been a jumbled mess. Rod even said, hey, I don't know who's going to play tonight because guys are just sick. Like, simple as that. But, it's 2 straight losses. And guess what? It's not like they played terrible yesterday. Gosh, Mikko Rantanen sets a perfect screen yesterday, gets called back for goalie interference on a terrible reversal by the officials. And then he hits a post yesterday. Gosh, it's like, what do you want, 6 goals a game? Settle down, people. It's 2 losses.
They're second in the East.
Yeah. It's like people act like it's crumbling. I'm like, hey, pump the brakes. Mikko Rantanen literally just got here.
They're second in the
East.
And
Taylor Hall.
Their roster was shuffled up, and then as soon as they got the roster that they have now, the flu, the sickness, whatever it was, ran through the locker room. I'm not making excuses. It's a legitimate reason for why things might not have been gangbusters from the jump. I know we wanted it to be that way. And it would be so much easier to deal with these complaints if it did go. If Rantanen had scored 6 goals already, I would love it, because then even if the same shots, he rang the post yesterday. If that goes in, do these complaints not happen? If Jackson Blake scored the goal that got taken away and it wasn't taken away, would everyone be complaining that the rookie is skating with the top line? I don't think so. It's very, very little, very, very minutia things in a large sample size sport. Give it time. Give it a month and evaluate. And also, I'll give you this. If you're just being the unrealistic fan, that's fine. I do it sometimes too. If you want to yell and scream, you want to vent, you want to go, this is so dumb, blah, 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 blah. As long as you acknowledge, I'm doing the thing right now, right? When fans boo, and I'm like, hey, you're a fan, you get to boo. Go nuts. Don't keep it personal. Don't say anything that crosses the line. That's you. As long as you acknowledge it, right? If you think you're doing something, right? Because those are the ones that get me. The ones that bring numbers and stats and like one very specific, obviously, over the last 7.5 games, this is what's going on. I'm like, how'd you pick 7.5? Is it because the first half of the 8th game, the guy scored 3 goals? Like, that's usually what it is, right? So-and-so has scored 0 points in the last four games in 12 minutes. I'm like, yeah, but that 13th minute right before you started counting, he had a hat trick. It's like, I just everybody chill for a minute. 2 games until the Four Nations face off. You get 2 weeks off. Everybody chill for a minute and enjoy tomorrow against Minnesota. We can talk about what we learned in each individual game. We can talk about things that are there for the evaluation, but there's no reason to go jumping off of metaphorical ledges. All right? All right. And if you do want to have a conversation, at Donnelly Sports on Twitter, I'm always there, always willing to go back and forth. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We do have to grab some numbers game contestants, but first, Tim Donnelly here for DraftKings Sportsbook. You know what's coming up this weekend. It's not the itty-bitty, teeny-weeny, eensy-weensy little bowl. It's not even like that's just some random week game. It's the Super Bowl. Super Bowl 59. Get in on the action at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL and of Super Bowl 59. Scoring touchdowns, it's key to hoisting the Lombardi Trophy. You got to count by 6s and 7s, 8s even. You can't go down there and get in the red zone and walk away with 3. And you, meaning you listening, can score big when they score by betting on them at DraftKings Sportsbook, the number one place to bet touchdowns. Let's look at it maybe a little bit more of a long shot here when you're betting touchdowns. How about Juju Smith-Schuster? Guy that has a history with the Chiefs. He had a couple big catches last week. If he scores a touchdown, he's sitting plus 500 right now. Also, wouldn't be surprised if the Chiefs defense gets a touchdown. The defense sitting at plus 600 to score a touchdown. Eagles fans, that's just a prediction. It's not what I want to have happen. So, easy. If you're ready to place your first bet, try betting on something simple like a player to score 6. Go to the DraftKings Sportsbook app and make your pick now. New DraftKings customers, you can bet $500 to get $200 in bonus bets instantly. I'll tell you how. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app, and when you're signing up, use code TIMD. That's code TIMD with no spaces for new customers, and you will get $200 in bonus bets instantly when you bet just $5. Only on DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 877-185-543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. 21 plus, North Carolina only. Eligibility restrictions apply. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio. Coming up next, we have the numbers game, so we need some contestants. The prize, as it has been all week, a $50 gift card to Adam and Eve. Valentine's Day is right around the corner, so spice up your love life with a trip to Adam and Eve. Visit any of their 6 Triangle Adam and Eve locations where pleasure begins and passion never ends. If you want to play the numbers game, call in now. We need 2 contestants, 919-860-5326. Once again, that's 919-860-5326. Numbers game coming up.
The Adam Gold Show.
I know the Hurricanes got Mikko Rantanen, an amazing player, Taylor Hall, who looks like he's really going to help him out. But before we put Carolina in the Stanley Cup favorite category, we need to know that Sebastian Aho is going to be the Sebastian Aho from last year and the year before, and that Andrei Svechnikov is going to do his thing, and we need to know that the goaltending is going to hold up. If those things happen, absolutely the Hurricanes are favored.
The Adam Gold Show, weekdays starting at noon on 99.9 The Fan.
Hey girl, haven't seen you downtown lately.
Nope, sticking to our go-to places.
You mean like Sharky's?
Well, we love our Sharky's. Best wings and gumbo on the planet. But we never miss the $5 sangrias on Wednesdays at the new Salt and Lime. And Mexican pints on Thursdays for $3.
You know my boy loves the House of Hops. No better selection of craft beer in the state. Loves their specials, their food trucks, and you know I love my wine. They have a wonderful selection.
And have I told you about our new takeout spot, Che Empanadas? It's right next to Sharky's. They have 20 different types of authentic Argentinian empanadas, and they are incredible, especially the breakfast ones. You gotta try it.
Sounds perfect. And how awesome is it that they're so close to each other?
Yes!
Give them a try. Che Empanadas, House of Hops, Salt and Lime, and Sharky's. Just a hop, skip, and a jump from each other off Durham Road, Glenwood, and Grove Barton.
Every morning, we rise and shine, make breakfast, and brush away the night's rest. These routines help us start the day off right. Nature-Made vitamins are a simple step in that daily care regimen. Multivitamins with daily essentials, clinically studied probiotics for gut health support, magnesium to help relax the body. Nature-Made is made to care for you every day. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
It's time for the Coastal Scholar Athlete of the Month.
Hello, Creighton Blackwell here from Coastal Credit Union and 99.9 The Fan. Tonight we are at Green Level High School, and we're here to celebrate the newest Scholar Athlete of the Month, Lexi Taylor.
My family is definitely like my biggest support through everything. My sister and my parents both support me through my hardest days and my best days, and they're always there to support me.
Lexi's a phenomenal athlete, comfortable with whatever you ask her to do. She's strong, she's poised, she doesn't get flustered easily.
And she's just like grown up so much as like a captain and a teammate, and she's been a captain now for 2 years, and I really just think she's been like such a great help to our team.
Well, I've been cheering with her since 7th grade and we're seniors now, so I've kind of like watched Lexi like grow up, I feel like, and she's like done the same with me. So I've like seen her like step into a leadership role, and I feel like she's just always super encouraging and keeps a positive attitude.
It means a lot to me to just be able to be recognized in such like a wide area with so many amazing athletes. So I just feel great to like feel like someone's like seeing all the hard work that I've been putting into my sport and my academics, so I'm very grateful for it.
Congratulations, Lexi.
For over 20 years, 99.9 The Fan and Coastal Credit Union have been recognizing scholar athletes at Triangle area schools. If you'd like to nominate a high school athlete, text AWARD to 919-860-5326. That's AWARD to 919-860-5326.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It is time to play the numbers game. The prize for today, a $50 gift card to Adam and Eve. Valentine's Day is right around the corner, so spice up your love life with a trip to Adam and Eve. Visit any of the 6 Triangle Adam and Eve locations where pleasure begins and passion never ends. The contestants for today are 6 in Raleigh and Andrew, also in Raleigh. As always, we have to ask a question, and we will have Dennis pick his favorite answer, and they'll get to go first. 6, are you ready to answer?
Yes, sir.
All right. So I thought about this last night, watching the Clemson overtime game against Georgia Tech. Jim Boeheim was the broadcaster, and he said when they went to their third overtime, he might just go straight to the airport. He said, Waffle House, airport. So let's say it's 3 a.m., you walk into a Waffle House. Who is the most random sports figure you could possibly think of that'd be sitting there slamming a grand slam or whatever whatever their order is at Waffle House?
Let me think about it. What about Cam Newton?
Cam Newton. All right.
Yeah.
Cam Newton as a random Waffle House participant. Okay. Andrew and Raleigh, are you ready?
Yep.
Same question to you. Instead of Jim Boeheim, who said he might have been late night Waffle House straight to the airport. You walk into a Waffle House after a night of debauchery. It is 3 a.m. Who's the most random sports figure you can think of to see sitting right there at the bar?
Let's go with Coach K. Entirely past his bedtime.
Coach K. I feel like there's an age joke you just made there. Dennis, which one is the right answer, Cam Newton or Coach K?
Both phenomenal answers. This is actually not very easy. Both have obviously local ties.
I think Cam Newton's vegan, right?
He is.
But I guess there's vegan options.
I'm sure. A lot of toast.
True.
A lot of toast. This is a tough one.
Coach K could probably house some hash browns. I don't know why. I don't know why
you know what?
That pops into my head.
I might have to go Coach K on this one. This is actually pretty difficult, but if I walked into a Waffle House at 3 a.m. and I saw Coach K, I'd be like, what are you doing?
It probably would have had to have been like, did Duke just play a 7 overtime game? Like, that's the only way that happens. All right, so Andrew gets to go first. 6, go ahead and stay on the line. You'll have your chance. Andrew, you ready to pick a category?
Yep.
All right. The categories are NFL players that were drafted in 2015, NFL players that were drafted in 2008, NBA players from the pandemic team, that's the 2021 Tokyo Olympics, or NHL Hurricanes only.
Let's go with the 2015 draft.
All right, 2015 draft is the category. NFL players drafted in 2015. I'll give you the player and the team. Give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. 30 seconds on the clock. One pass if you need it. Any questions before we get started?
Nope.
All right, your time will start when you hear the horn. Stephon Diggs, Minnesota Vikings.
14.
Correct. Todd Gurley, St. Louis Rams.
30.
Correct. Ty Montgomery, Green Bay Packers.
88.
Correct. Jamison Crowder, Washington Redskins.
80.
Correct. Devin Funchess, Carolina Panthers.
17.
17? That's a 5 for 5, and that was flying.
Let's go.
22 seconds.
22 seconds. Not quite an all-time record, but that was flying. And those were not easy. Ty Montgomery, Jamison Crowder, and Devin Funchess didn't need a second guess. You got Stephon Diggs and Gurley also. For those of you playing at home, we would have accepted Jamison Crowder at Washington 80 or 83. He wore both numbers. But
Duke graduate.
Crowder,
Duke
yes.
guy,
Yeah. I was like, how do you know that about Andrew? I thought you were shouting out Andrew. Andrew, stay on the line. There is still a way you could not win, and that's if 6 does it faster than 22 seconds. 6, are you there?
That's going to be tough, man.
It is. There's no sugarcoating it for you.
Damn.
But there is a chance, right? Upsets happen. The categories remaining for you to choose from are NFL players drafted in 2008, NBA pandemic team. These are all players that were on the 2021 Tokyo Olympic team, or NHL Hurricanes only.
Let's go NBA.
All right. We are the caveat for this category is we are looking for their number on the team that I say, not their Olympic number. These are just players that were on the Olympics. But I will give you an NBA team and the player. Give me their jersey number on that team. There will be 30 seconds on the clock. One pass if you need it, but you do need to get all 5 in less than 22 seconds if you want to win the gift card. Any questions?
No, sir. Let's go.
All right, let's go. Your time will start when you hear the horn. Jason Tatum, Boston Celtics.
0.
Correct. Devin Booker, Phoenix Suns.
1.
Correct. Damian Lillard, Portland Trailblazers.
0.
Correct. Draymond Green, Golden State Warriors.
23.
Correct. Bam Adebayo, Miami Heat.
13.
Correct. What just happened?
That was in 17 seconds.
What just happened?
In 17 seconds.
That is our second all-time 5 matching 5. And
oh, man. I'm so excited, man.
As you should be. That is like a no-hitter going into the 10th, both sides. 6 in Raleigh, you are the winner. Congratulations. That was awesome.
Okay, man. Hey, I appreciate it, man.
Go ahead and stay on the line. Dennis has some info he needs to grab from you. I also want to talk to Andrew. Can we bring Andrew up real quick? Andrew, I just want to acknowledge that's brutal. That is absolutely brutal.
Tough loss.
That is a tough loss. But go ahead and stay on the line as well. Dennis just said that in my headphones, so there's something he wants to discuss with you. That is 5 for 5 and 5 for 5.
That's
clap it up. Everybody, clap
well
it up
done.
right now, wherever you are. If you're in your car, maybe one hand on the wheel. But
yes.
But if you're the passenger, clap it up right now. They'll hear you. Good work by both 6 and Andrew. Solid. Stay on the line. And I want to be just clear. Those were not easy. Those
far from easy.
Sometimes I'll admit, right, and it's completely random, so it's never fixed or anything, and you can pick your category. Sometimes I'm like, all right, no, it makes sense. No, those were not the easiest jersey numbers to get. Have 2 different zeros, that's tough because your brain just doesn't usually go to 0. 6 nailed it. Montgomery, 88, played running back, smoked it. Very, very good. So those 2 stay on the line, and right now, everybody else, listen to Dennis Cox.
Folks, Dennis Cox here for ESPN Bet Sportsbook. The best time of year for football is finally here. The big game has arrived, and fans are excited to see who will be hoisting the trophy in New Orleans. You can get in on all the action at ESPN Bet Sportsbook. Check out their big game giveaway promo for your chance at $1 million in prizes. 25 winners will walk away with $10K in cash, and 7,500 winners will get $100 in bonus bets. No deposit or bet required. Opt in today in the ESPN Bet Sportsbook app. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Will look towards the big game, the Super Bowl on Sunday, with some prop bets coming up.
Evan, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
In no way, shape, or form are the Dallas Mavericks title contenders. To me, it's more likely they don't make the playoffs than win a title. They're not winning a title. They're not getting to the finals. This is not a finals team by any stretch of the imagination. They got worse now and later.
I vehemently disagree. I think the Dallas Mavericks are closer to a title.
Unsportsmanlike.
Mornings from 6 to 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Everyone deserves a fast and reliable connection. One that helps better their everyday through the things they value most. Friends and family, education and career. A connection that opens pathways to opportunity and builds roads to a better future. At Spectrum, we're committed to delivering just that every single day. Because with the right connection, anything is possible. That's Life Unlimited. That's Spectrum.
It's bow time.
A leg and thigh dinner from Bojangles for just $5.99?
Leg and thigh dinner from Bojangles for just $5.99?
So crispy.
So crispy.
And juicy.
And juicy.
So much flavor.
So much.
Stop it. What are you doing?
What, you expect me to get this delicious deal and not say anything?
You're unbelievable.
You're unbelievable.
With a boldly seasoned leg and thigh, choice of fixin', a biscuit, and legendary iced tea, it's a deal so good it's worth repeating. So eat and repeat while it lasts. It's bow time.
It's bow time. Dine in, drive through, or tap your favorite delivery app and have Bojangles come to you. Satisfy your craving for flavor right now with Bojangles 2-piece dinner. 2 pieces of Bojangles dark meat chicken, your choice of fixin', a biscuit, and iced tea for just $5.99. That's right, just $5.99 for limited time at participating Bojangles. What are you waiting for? When you're hungry, it's always bow time.
Something amazing is happening in business. More companies are turning to Mac. From finance to fulfillment, CDW will seamlessly support Mac integration into your organization. With the power of Apple Silicon, best-in-class security, and compatibility across your favorite apps, your team will have the performance they need and the tools they love. Make amazing happen. Mac and CDW. Learn more at cdw.com/Apple.
Tim Donnelly here for Zero Res. Now, February is the month of love, and we're all guilty of it, right? We wait till something like February happens to love those that maybe we've been neglecting or let them know how much we care. Have you been doing that to your rugs, your floors, piling up with dirt and grime and dander? Well, Zero Res wants to love your rug. Love your rug special right now. 3 rooms of carpet cleaned starting at $109 and $100 off air duct cleaning. Visit ZeroResRaleigh.com or call 919-995-0000.
Get ready for the concert event of the summer.
On the road again.
Catch Willie Nelson and family. Bob Dylan. Turnpike Troubadours. And more at the Outlaw Music Festival's 10th anniversary tour, July 27th. Coastal Credit Union Music Park, Raleigh. Pre-sale for City Card members now through Thursday at 10 p.m. before the general public on sale Friday. Get tickets at livenation.com.
Morning, Paula.
Morning, Ron.
Another day in Adminville, am I right?
What are you working on? Oh!
You okay?
Your tabs. You have so many open.
Yeah, gotta order lunch for the big client meeting. With great responsibility comes tabs.
I can help. Close all those tabs and open just one, easycater.com. Online ordering from local restaurants, plus tools to save time, stay on budget, track expenses.
One tab to rule them all.
EasyCater, the smarter way to order food for work. Order now at easycater.com.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It is funny when the Super Bowl comes around. All of a sudden, everybody becomes I'm speaking with grains of salt here, so just not throwing names around. All of a sudden, everybody becomes like a gambling degenerate, right? Your mild-mannered aunt that barely pays attention to sports at all suddenly at a Super Bowl party going like, what was the coin toss? How long was the national anthem? Your cousin from the back going like, was that a bubble screen, a run, or a reception? Because I got the over in receptions for the running back. Like, it was, whoa, all right, everybody's into it. It's just part of that game, right? Everybody's got squares, pools. I need that. Did they make the extra point? That's going to make it a 3. But it is fun. I mean, hey, for those of us that maybe dabble in it year-round, welcome to the crew, everybody. Dennis, what prop bets should we be looking at for Sunday?
Well, there are some weird sports plays
that
could potentially happen, including what's known as an octopus.
I like a good octopus.
A football octopus. This is where a player scores the touchdown. Not throws for it. Actually is the one with the ball crossing the goal line. Scores the touchdown, and then also scores the 2-point conversion. 8 points, octopus. It has only happened once in Super Bowl history.
Can I make a specific prediction on how it's going to happen if it does?
Okay.
This is what it's going to happen. They're going to get down, probably a long run by Saquon Barkley. It's going to get down at the Eagles, get down at like the half-yard line. What do the Eagles do on the half-yard line?
Tush push.
Jalen Hurts scores, but the tush push is also very frustrating. So somebody from the Chiefs, maybe while the pile is getting up, shoves. Boom, penalty. So now the extra point, cut in half, gets down to like the 1-yard line. So what do they do again? Tush push. Jalen Hurts, touchdown scored, 2 points scored, octopus had.
Okay, well, ironically, the only octopus ever in Super Bowl history, 2 years ago by Jalen Hurts. Go figure.
I didn't know that.
So that actually makes sense. Roughly around plus 1,400 odds.
Nah, that's good money.
Yeah, but it's really good money actually. So I figure that'd be a fun game one for you there, Tim.
It's by the way, and this is just pure entertainment purposes only. I might bet on like Jalen Hurts to score 2 touchdowns, just so instead of getting abnormally mad when they start tush pushing, I get excited. Like it's just because the tush push is so annoying. I might gamble on it just so when they do it, I'm like yes, rather than like this is the dumbest play in sports. Do you remember last time Washington tried to stop it by timing the snap count and they threatened to just give them a touchdown? Yeah. This is so dumb. Instead of that, I'll be going like, all right, we got it. Another one. One more, and we got to pay out. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there.
No. That's totally fine. Does the game go to overtime? Yes or no? Simple one. Looking at about plus 800 odds for it to go to overtime, the game itself. You see that possibly happening? Overtime?
Here's the thing. No. Do you know why?
Why?
Because the Chiefs are too darn good at late game management. You're either going to have to beat them by 2 scores or they're going to win it late.
Went last year.
True. But not against the Eagles. I actually saw somebody that said, like, I'd like to place all my money on the Eagles money line, but only if you can give me a line through the first 58 minutes. Because the Eagles will be winning then, and then they're going to, score to take the lead at like 58 minutes, and then they're going to give it to the Chiefs, and you know what happens.
Oh, a lot of people are wondering what's Travis Kelce going to do after this game.
Mm-hmm.
Is he going to retire, go into the sunset? You can bet if he's going to propose to Taylor Swift. Right after the game. Plus 750 for a yes, minus 1,500 for a no.
They had Super Bowl media availability yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of questions for Travis about, are you going to propose? Are you going to propose? And he was sitting him like, wouldn't you like to know? And then once people realized that he wasn't going to answer the question, they started trying to like come in the side door with questions. Do you think diamonds are a good investment? Have you been looking into diamonds recently? I'm like, what is going on here? Ask football questions. People that cover the Super Bowl, and I've had the opportunity to do it, it's really annoying when you're trying to get like real solid questions asked. And do you see all the ones asking about the refs? Asking Patrick Mahomes who's his favorite ref. Asking Travis Kelce who does he love more, Taylor Swift or a phantom 15-yard roughing the passer call.
That was funny.
But nobody is getting nobody is getting anything out of that. If you think it's a funny joke, tweet it out. Don't use up the time. They're only there for a certain amount of time to ask questions. Some people actually have questions to ask.
All right, well, here's actually Jason Kelce, Travis's brother.
Yep.
Played for the Eagles.
Did.
For his whole career.
Correct.
So, question, Jason Kelce's outfit. Is he going to go neutral, plus 164? Is he going to be wearing an outfit supporting Philadelphia, the Eagles, minus 146, or supporting Kansas City because that's where his brother plays, plus 430?
I think, and I don't know if actually Jason Kelce was a part of it, but I think when his wife has gone to Chiefs games in the past, because I think grew up a Philly. I don't know why I know so much. I've listened to the podcast. She's worn Cincinnati Bearcat stuff because they went to Cincinnati, and Cincinnati, their college, it's red. So she's worn like Cincinnati gear that's red. So it's like, I'm here on the red side for Travis Kelce, but I'm not wearing Chiefs stuff to keep like it strong. She's like found the loophole. So I wouldn't be surprised if Jason Kelce shows up in like a Cincinnati Bearcats red shirt and then probably pops the top, goes shirtless for a while, and chugs some beers because he's Jason Kelce.
All right, Kendrick Lamar performing at halftime.
Oh, yes, he is.
Had some beef with Drake. Plus 3,500 odds, Drake shows up in the halftime show with Kendrick Lamar.
That's not long enough odds. Give me plus 1 million. He is not showing up.
That'd be hilarious.
The song,
That'd be hilarious.
They Not Like Us, pretty obviously insinuates that Drake has had relations with minors. I don't think you're like, oh, I want to be in on the joke. Can you bring me out to rap the second verse? I don't think that's how it goes.
Internet would break.
A minor. Don't waste your money on that bet. Are there other appearances? I think there could be like a few others. Like I think there's usually some surprises.
Oh, you're in New Orleans? Hot boys show up. Make it happen.
It did appear as if Lil Wayne's pretty definite on not showing up, but there's maybe Juvenile. I don't know. There's some options there. There will be some surprises. I do not think
big timers. Let's go.
Do not think it will be Drake.
Be hilarious if it did. All right, actually, last one here. We got about a couple minutes left. Total number of songs by Kendrick Lamar. Over and under set at 10.5. I mean, because you're kind of cramming fractions of songs over a short period.
It's usually
of time.
like 15 minutes.
20.
I'm going under. I also, actually, you know what? I might change that and go over because I'm thinking of Kendrick Lamar songs, and he has hits. Like he's got a bunch of platinum records and everything. But I'm thinking of songs that he can say the things that he says in the lyrics on the Super Bowl.
It's also part of that.
So, if he has like a 40-second clip of a song that he can say out loud to the Super Bowl. So, yeah, I'll go over because he might be grabbing little bits and pieces. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Before we pass things over to Overdrive, here's Dennis Cox.
Dennis Cox here for my friends over at Loan Pronto. What could you do with an extra $75,000 right now, or even a couple $100,000? If you own a home, you can get that money in less than a week. Loan Pronto is the leader in quickly converting your home equity into cold hard cash, so you can pay off all your credit cards or start that home remodel. Loan Pronto has several easy options to let you access the cash for your home. There's virtually no paperwork, no cumbersome process, no junk fees, and often no appraisal. Listen. The average homeowner now has over $300,000 in equity. That's your money. Use it. One client got $150,000 out and paid off all their credit cards, 2 car loans, and a personal loan, cutting their monthly expenses by $1,500. You can get approved in as little as 1 day. So act now with no hard credit pull up front. LoanPronto.com, 919-381-1760. Get the money you need for anything. 919-381-1760. LoanPronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Overdrive is coming up next here on 99.9 The Fan. Dennis, do we know what's leading off?
We're going to actually be tipping things off here with a little ACC basketball.
There
Why do we stink?
The barren wasteland that is ACC men's basketball. The women are doing great. That's about going to do it for us here. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a great night, everybody.
Listen for the "Did he just do that?"
Johnson trying to step back for a three. Bring it up. Left side. Boy, that was cold-blooded.
The deep looks from downtown.
Damas from the right block. Gives to Hawkins. Straight on. Triple. Good. They left him open, and he makes him pay.
The "Get that out of here's."
Bonner to the basket. Rejected by Renew, who saw that one coming.
Your exclusive home for the Final Four. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports leader.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. And now save 50% on the new Sleep Number limited edition smart bed. Plus free home delivery when you add a base. Ends Monday. Exclusively at a Sleep Number store near you. Learn more at sleepnumber.com.
John Porcelain here for my friends at Buffalo Brothers. You know the big game is right around the corner, and it's time to start thinking about big game parties. Don't be that guy that doesn't get the best wings in town. So order your wings today from Buffalo Brothers. Come and get Buffalo Brothers Big Game Special. 2 large pizzas and 20 wings for just $50. That's food for the whole family at more than 20% off. But remember, order today as pickup times fill up fast. Buffalo Brothers. Oh man, now I want wings.
Morning, Paula.
Morning, Ron.
Another day in Adminville, am I right?
What are you working on? Oh!
You okay?
Your tabs. You have so many open.
Yeah, gotta order lunch for the big client meeting. With great responsibility comes tabs.
I can help. Close all those tabs and open just one, easycater.com. Online ordering from local restaurants, plus tools to save time, stay on budget, track expenses.
One tab to rule them all.
EasyCater, the smarter way to order food for work. Order now at easycater.com.
Jackson Hewitt makes taxes feel like a yacht rock song.
Breeze, give me my biggest tax refund, please. You, me, and a lifetime accuracy guarantee.
And now get $100 just to try Jackson Hewitt. Does your tax person do that?
Say goodbye to that no guarantee tax guy.
Ready to sail through tax season? Go to Jackson Hewitt and you'll be limited time offer for new clients. Participating locations only. Terms at jacksonhewitt.com.
Hey friends, Paul Eihander from 99.9 The Fan for FanDuel. Whether you're riding with the Chiefs or the Eagles, FanDuel has yet another way for you to win big during Super Bowl 59. It's because FanDuel's put together 2 parlays that feature an exclusive profit boost. If you think the Chiefs are going to win and their quarterback's going to throw for more than 225 passing yards, you can bet that and get bigger winnings if it hits. Maybe you think the Eagles are going to win and their star running back's going to have over 100 rushing yards. That's cool. You get a profit boost on that too. Either way, these parlays are all set to bet. Visit FanDuel.com/Paul and claim your exclusive profit boost. That's FanDuel.com/Paul to bet Super Bowl 59 on America's #1 sportsbook. Make every moment more with FanDuel, official sports betting partner of the NFL. 21 plus and present in North Carolina. Opt-in required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, injury lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it. Go to ritchielaw.com.
That's ritchielaw.com.
They score! WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. Take us with you on the radio, Instagram, TikTok, Alexa, and YouTube. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader. It's 6 o'clock. Time to shift into overdrive. All highlights, no filler. As we run it back from the drive with Tim Donnelly.
So on the bubble, let's go back. This changed since yesterday. Yesterday we did bracketology update, right? And what did we have? In Joe Lunardi's bubble, right? He's the bracketologist for ESPN. You had Pitt as one of the last 4 in. Okay? You had North Carolina, one of the next 4 out. You had Wake, one of the next 4 out. We know the teams that are in the mix, right? The teams that were in: Clemson, Louisville.
SMU in the next 4 out as well.
SMU in the next 4 out as well. And the teams that weren't even on the bubble: Clemson, Louisville, Duke. right? Those were the squads that were quote-unquote in. Last night, or sorry. Let's go back to Monday. Monday, Pitt lost by 16 at home to Virginia.
Bruh.
Georgia Tech, who's under 500, in triple overtime last night, beat Clemson.
Bruh.
Georgia Tech, who's under 500, earlier in their season, actually their most recent game before Clemson, beat Louisville. So the teams that were not on the bubble, if you lose to schools that are under 500, guess where you're likely going to end up? On the bubble. And so now I'm looking at the bubble teams and I'm going, Wake is traveling to California, traveling to California to play Stanford. Stanford is a different beast in California than when they travel east. They are much better when teams have to travel from the east out there. SMU's on the bubble. They're playing at Virginia Tech tonight. Louisville is now likely closer to the bubble after losing to Georgia Tech. They are at Boston